everything you can to get things ready to go and curveballs come your way. So we are 9 minutes into the first quarter, and we had our first score that just took place. The South team's Chance Verton of Hastings High, a 45-yard pitch and catch to put South on the board with 3:10 to play. We're going to work to get the score bug and clock and other graphics up throughout the broadcast, but we figured let's show you what we're seeing here currently. Kurt Frenzen with Lakeview, Columbus Lakeview, a Shrine Bowl coach, a state championship coach. What does this game mean, and how are you feeling as we've seen, two-thirds of the first quarter thus far?
Well, it's a beautiful day here in Kearney. Excited to get out here and get this thing on TV. I know didn't get it on the air right at the beginning. There's been a lot of fireworks going on, a lot of offense moving up down the field. Now, there's only 7 points to show for it, but with maybe all this offensive action, they tripped over a cord somewhere along, plug something, I don't know, but 7-0 right now in favor of the South, but the North did have a flea flicker, basically a reverse throwback play called back, and that touchdown did not count. I still don't know what the explanation was for that. Otherwise, this game would be tied up. So far, a lot of great offensive plays out here, and it's been exciting first quarter, and hopefully the next 3.5, well, not quite 3.5 quarters will bring you the same action. So here we go.
So returning the kick, that touchdown you were referring to that got called back for the North was a 52-yard pass on that flea flicker to Marcus Buchanan. As you mentioned, the officials said it was a illegal forward pass, which is why North doesn't have any points. Let's take a look, though, at that previous score if we have the opportunity. This is the pass to Chance Verton that has made it 7-0.
Well, Van Dyke does a great job extending the play, and then Verton just turns his route up the sideline, and he was able to shake loose. And, if you are a Class B football fan, you've seen the quarterback from Scott, Dylan Van Dyke, do that quite often. He is a special player. A big reason why they were able to get Bennington in the state championship there. And a great play on his part, and a great play by Verton. Like I said, just turning the route up the sideline and scoring to get our first score of the game.
That last carry by Quinn. Unfamiliar with the format of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl, it is not only the best athletes and football players, seniors across the state of Nebraska, graduating seniors, but also high character individuals. These coaches are announced early on in the year, and then they spend the better part of 4 or 5 months picking a team, formulating who they want to be on their team, and then they get to Kearney for a week and they have camp and practice and prepare for this game. And Coach, you've been a part of that process. Not an easy one, but how does that go through a coach's head when you're trying to who is the best players that I should have and honor them to be able to play in this game?
Well, it's a lot of vetting, and it's not only vetting as far as watching their film and whether it's highlight films or games, but it's also talking to their coaches, their opposing coaches. I know when we did it, I think we talked to community members and teachers as well too, because the last thing you want to do is come to an event like this and have somebody not represent this what this game means. And so, you do a very good job trying to get the best individuals you can here, not only athletically, but just behavior and character-wise as well. And from what I can tell, both these teams did a great, coaching staffs did a great job getting these teams put together. And, they're going to put their best. It's a great show.
Just under 2 minutes remaining in the opening quarter, 7-0.
That was Connor O'Neill with the punt there to get it away. The Omaha North product, and head coach Larry Martin has always had a great job with his football programs, and Connor O'Neill from Omaha to set up this next series here with 1:48 left as the South's going to take the field.
North team, Kevin Stein, head coach from Grand Island Northwest. Chris Nizzi, the head coach for the South team. And talking to both coaches throughout the week, Kevin Stein maybe a little bit more loose than Coach Nizzi. He said you'd be seeing some trick plays, which refers to that flea flicker that got called back that we saw. But nice run here by the South's Edison Knott, the Seward, who will be going to Doane next year.
Yeah, Seward's had an excellent football program for a very long time. And, you know, they made a good run last year as well, too. And Edison Knott with a nice bounce there. The offensive line up front there for the South did a great job getting a push. There's several players in and out here. They've done a great job of rotating their players in, trying to get some of those names for you. And Amir Hill with the carry in MILLARD South product. I think go ahead. Right now, right tackle, I believe, for the South, they have at Connor Wayne from Westside, number 71, number 75, Ben Marion from Gretna, and at center, I believe it's number 59, Aiden Whited from Papio, Landon Sabata from Ashland Greenwood, and then at number 57, Brady McDonald from Millard West. And it's almost unfair as they line up here on the South. You've got Thomas Spears from Ashland and Amir Hill from Millard South, two guys that are quick, explosive players. And Spears turns his route up about the same exact play they scored on earlier.
That was a 2nd and 14, so it brings up 3rd and 14 now. 43 seconds remaining in the opening quarter of the Nebraska played here at Ron and Carroll Cope Stadium on the campus of the University of Nebraska Kearney. Brandon Axman, Kurt Frenzen with you for all of the action as the South team currently leading 7-0.
Yeah, I mentioned Amir Hill, the Millard South running back. He's going to play in the slot today along with Thomas Spears. Both those guys are going to go on to play. Amir Hill going to Iowa Western. Thomas is going to go to Morningside. Both are outstanding football players. And speaking of which,
that was Spears again. He got behind his defender, just unable to haul it in.
Yeah, I've seen Thomas Spears over the last few years at Ashland. He's been lightning in a bottle for the Blue Jays. You know, they've done a great job of getting him in space. But not only was he a good football player on offense, but he was an outstanding football player on defense, playing safety, and did a great job coming downhill and getting in run fit and defend the pass as well. Morningside's getting a heck of a football player in Thomas Spears.
So the majority of these players, because they this won't be their last football game ever, of course, their last high school football game, but you look up and down both of these rosters and plenty of them will be playing football at the next level.
Yeah, Chance Burton, you know, from Hastings, he was just the one that punted the ball. He was the one that scored a touchdown a little earlier. So definitely a multi-threat type of guy. He's going to play baseball, actually, so multi-sport athlete in Chance Burton. His grandpa, Coach Burton at Adams Central, among other places, one of the more well-respected coaches back in the day. When I first got into coaching, I know his grandfather be super proud of how he's playing thus far and the type of game he's turning in early here.
Little bubble screen out to Marcus Buchanan of Omaha Burke, who is tackled with 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter. This first quarter is brought to you by Visit Kearney. Next time you're in Kearney, check out the new Visit Kearney Welcome Center on Eunice campus.
Yeah, it was a really good play. Out here on the side, they thought that they might be able to get some things going. We're able to getting down before he could get started there on the edge. And they're going to run that to the quarter, and that is the end of the first quarter, Brandon.
So 7-0 after 1. South team leading the North here in the 67th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Glad that you're with us here on NCN. And Coach, perhaps you could give the perspective, I'm sure you can, of being a coach and what this week is all about. They have the Beyond the Field event, which starts on Monday, and they are practicing throughout. But could you take the viewers through the process of this week?
Yeah, so they come in on Sunday, and you know, it's kind of exchange pleasantries, get your team together, and you know, lay out some expectations for the week. You know, they have activities for the team each night, and those things will start early in the week. The Beyond the Field is usually day 1 or 2, and that is a chance for each team to get around the honorary captains and some of the other Shriner kids that come and are part of that day. It is a special day. The players get a chance to see what the game's getting played for and what you know, this is all about and what it actually means to be a part of this game. And as they move throughout the week, their coaches, I'm sure, did a great job of reminding them that. I listened to the Doug and Daddy show this past week, and they interviewed both coaches. And I know Coach Nizzi and Coach Stein multiple times brought up the reminder about, just what it means to be a part of this game and what you're playing for. And what you're playing for is to make sure that, this game stays relevant and that, this stays an important part of the process is fundraising for the Shriners. And I know both teams did a great job. It's interesting to be put up in the dorm, and they're not put up in separate dorms. They're put up in the same dorm. So as the week goes on, you've got a bunch of highly competitive, highly tough kids that, get ready to go. And as the week goes on, it definitely gets a little bit tougher to be in that situation.
12 minutes. We're about to get this second quarter started. Let's go down to the third member of our broadcast team, Dave Greek.
Hey guys, we're down here with Orlando Dhaenens. He's the brother of Desmond Dhaenens, who's competing in this year's Shrine Bowl. And it's really interesting because Orlando was a Shriner through your experience with the Shriners Hospital.
So when I was there, I never felt like a patient at a hospital. I always just felt like a kid, They had a whole bunch of things you could play with. They always catered to all your needs and your wants, and they never made you feel like you were different from anyone else or that you were a patient seeking care at a hospital. You just felt like
still a kid technically. You're 16 years old. What does it mean to you to have your brother playing in this event?
It's honestly really big to me knowing that he's out here supporting other kids just like me, and I'm about to have a surgery in a week for my next foot, so, I'm still going through everything, still dealing with everything, But the Shriners has really helped me, how do I explain it?
Maneuver through the situation.
Yeah.
Certainly. Without getting too personal, what's wrong with your foot?
I have gigantic extremities, and I have adductus, meaning my feet aren't straight, and I have just abnormal growth. So when I was younger, they removed 70% of the overgrowth in both of my feet, and that's really the only reason I can do all the other activities every other kid can. Without the Shriners, I wouldn't be able to just be like everyone else.
Orlando Dhaenens, we appreciate your story and sharing it with us. We're going to send it back upstairs right now.
Thank you, Dave. And Kurt, just an example of hundreds of thousands of stories of what the Shriners Children's Hospital does and the whole mission of this game and this week, where the Shriners Children's Hospital provides specialized pediatric care regardless of a family's ability to pay. And that's really what makes the organization so special, and it's meant to raise awareness by playing this football game.
Yeah, it's a whole week is put together and is built around servant leadership, and we've got a bunch of young men, a bunch of coaches that are giving up their time and doing what they can to really bring awareness to the Shriners Hospital and help support this worthy cause. And again, the big thing is for these guys now is to get out here and play an outstanding game. And so far, there's been a lot of excitement going on, and we just expect more of the same as we move through this thing.
7-0 South team. North with the ball rolling out and going up top. Good coverage on the play. That was Braylon Anderson, the OAKLAND-CRAIG product, throwing it up there, trying to connect with Charlie Lamsky.
Yeah, I thought, he did a good job extending the play the best he could. They got a couple first downs to start that, ran all hitches a couple different times in a row, and the third time they ran it, the South did a good job of dropping in coverage and getting a hand on, almost had a pick. It was a really good play by Brody Brunson from Platteview. He had dropped into coverage actually from his DN spot and almost had a pick. It would have been a big play for the South team. I believe Spears is back deep now.
Cooper Johnson of Bennington coming on for the North. 4th down and 10, and they'll punt it away.
And O'Neill gets a good punt away. Spears is going to have to fair catch it. And that'll set up, and the South is in business again here, leading 7-0. Looks like the South is going to stay primarily with the same offensive line. And in scrimmage the other day, they rotated a little bit, some guys in and out. For the most part, they kind of kept those same guys. I know we'd mentioned a couple of them before, Connor Wayne, Ben Marion. It looks like Tyson Breckner is back in the game right now. So, yeah, they are getting ready to go here. Little quarterback read.
Nice run here. Still going is Colby Volkmer, the Pius product. He'll be taking his talents to Wayne America next year playing for the Wildcats.
That was an outstanding read by him. He's able to pull the ball and get to the perimeter, and then made a guy miss in space. And you always talk about yards after contact, and he did a great job after the first contact to get a few more yards and get the first down for the South, and they are on the move.
So first down and 10, ball on the 37, 10:07 remaining here in the opening half of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Beautiful day here in Kearney, sunny. Around 80 degrees. Yeah, Edison not in motion, and looks like it'll be another keeper for Volkmer, who picks up about 4.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a really good collision down here. Number 94, A.J. Palladino from Elkhorn North did a great job coming underneath the trap block or kick-out block from the guard. And he did a nice job of disrupting that play. They did get a little bit of yardage out of it, but overall I thought he played that play very well.
Second down and 7 for the South. Spears in motion.
And they've set up a couple different screens here early, and they were able to get that shook loose a little bit there. And I thought they did a nice job early in the game doing the same thing. And one of the more profile football players on the field today, Ryman Ziebert from Platteview, who is going to Stanford with the little screen catch there.
Ziebert almost 1,300 career receiving yards at Platteview. Sets up a third down and 3.
This is a big down early for both teams here. North looking to get a stop, South looking to keep this drive alive. North would like to get that ball back. And a little sprint option off the edge, and there is a collision over here.
Right at the sticks. That was not with the carry. We'll see where they mark him. Another look on the instant replay brought to you by Lavander's Body Shop and Stanton Telecom, and there's some pop in there.
Yeah, they did a nice job of coming over and making that play. I thought, they had some space over there, but it closed in a hurry. I thought they did a nice job as far as the North defense coming over and getting that play stopped before it got going to the edge a little bit. I believe that was Landon Riddle from Sydney up on the edge making the tackle. 4th and 1, and they're going, Brandon.
You have Ziebert motioning across, and a whistle timeout called by the South coaching staff. I'm going to talk this one over.
Coach Nizzi wants a timeout, wants to decide if this is the best option or not. Do you want to give the short field to the North team if they are unable to get it? So we'll see if they decide to stick with the offense out there, or they're going to come back and punt it away. I think they may stay with it. All-star games, coaching staffs usually want to turn it loose a little bit more, so I would not be surprised if they come back out and go for this. So 8:27 here in the second quarter. And, defensively, you want to take short routes away. You want your secondary play a little more aggressive. There are some rules that hamstring the defense a little bit. It's going to be tough for them to do some different things. You can't really blitz on these situations. They're just going to have to be able to get downhill on their fits as best they can here. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just try to quarterback sneak this.
Yeah, to your point, you have to run a 4-man front, and you have to be 3 or 4 yards off the ball unless a goal line situation. So this certainly favors the offense, and you have the big-bodied Volkmer at quarterback who hands it off.
He handed it deep, and he got stuffed initially. I don't know where they're going to put their forward progress at. That was a big play, and the North thinks they got him stopped short. We'll see where this is spotted. That was a tough play. They thought his forward progress stopped. He was able to shake loose and then get the ball towards, but they aren't going to get the stop. So big play here early by the North defense. We had a whole bunch of North players getting down in that run fit, but I'll tell you what, it starts up front with those defensive linemen, and I thought they did a tremendous job standing up the offensive line from the South.
Big turnover on downs for the North. Let's go back down to the field to Dave Greek.
Yeah, much to the chagrin of our co-captain for the South team, it's Carter Strait. Carter, we just had that fourth down stop. I know you're really interested in watching this game. What does it mean to you to be a co-captain for the South and see a South victory today?
It means a lot that I get to be a part of this because not a lot of people get to be a part of this, and it helps out more people that have disabilities and stuff like me.
What has the Shriners Hospital meant to you?
Everything. They've done so much for me that it means everything to me.
And then to be a co-captain, you're down here on the sideline for a football game with some of the best kids in the state. How cool is this?
Very cool that I get to be a part of it, and I get to meet all of them and help out with this.
The South team's got a 7-0 lead. What's your prediction for the rest of the day?
They will win.
You heard it here first. Carter Strait, the co-captain, predicting a victory for the South squad. We'll send it back upstairs.
Brings up a 2nd and 10 for the North, and right on cue, there's a catch by Connor O'Neill, who was in bounds, tiptoeing the sidelines.
O'Neill did a great job on his route, got out of his break, and the timing was really good. They just wanted to isolate it. It was a one-receiver route off a little bit of play action. I'll tell you, Nate Collins from BURKE did a great job of setting that up and was able to deliver the ball. A couple plays before that, I felt like Anthony Liggins from Omaha Central, nice breakup at corner for the South team.
This time a handoff right up the middle for Quinn Bailey of CHADRON. Not only excellent at football, but a 2-time wrestling state champ.
If you're in the wrestling community, I know you know about Quinn Bailey. If you're a football fan, if you're in C or live out west and Class C football or live out west, you probably know about him. Now, the rest of the state may not. And I'll tell you what, he's one of the most explosive football players and athletes that we have in this game today. He had a very special high school career. We kept our eyes on CHADRON a lot at Columbus Lakeview just because you never know if you're going to match up in the playoffs, and the games that he turned in and week out from the running back position. And it wasn't like he'd get 14 carries a game. He'd get 25, 30 carries a game. And game after game, he just did a great job of turning in huge rushing performances for the CHADRON Cardinals.
Again, such an interesting dynamic, too, that the nature of the Shrine Bowl when you basically have 90 studs that at the respective teams all on the football field at the same time, which is, of course, the essence of an all-star game. But you get to see everyone put their talents on display, and here's a nice run to the outside for the North, and specifically that's Antonio Palmer. Talk about good running backs. He had some records as well.
Oh, my gosh, the game's a 400-yard game, I believe, once or twice. He had unbelievable games this past season for South Sioux City. Just did a tremendous job at running back. And they had a nice season this year and got some things turned around. And a lot of that they really leaned on him and put a lot of their season on his shoulders. So the North is on the move here, going to try and tie this up here in the second quarter.
Palmer specifically, those records we were talking about. Most yards in a game, 390. The longest touchdown run for South Sioux City at 93. Most touchdowns in a game for South Sioux City with 7. And most rushing yards in a career, nearly 4,000 yards. As we'd like to remind you that our halftime highlights are coming up at the break. They're brought to you by Gibbon Tractor Pull. Stay tuned for the halftime highlights brought to you by Gibbon Tractor Pull. 6:53 remaining here in quarter number 2. Brandon Axmit, Kurt Frenzen, and Dave Greek with you for the action here on News Channel Nebraska.
Yeah, back to Antonio Palmer. I don't know what South Sioux City's policy is on the Hall of Fame, if they have a 5-year waiting period, if they have a 1-year waiting period, whatever it may be.
Forego the waiting, just throw him in.
Go ahead and put him in the Hall of Fame at South Sioux City right now. You're going to have those type of numbers and those type of games. I think it's, everybody's safe to say that everybody be okay with him going in early.
So coming out of the timeout, 2nd down and 3. North go right up the middle, a pickup of 2.
And as you can see a little bit, it's getting a little bit chippy down there. And I talked to both coaches before the game, and everything was very pleasant. And, you know, everybody was doing really good, living in the same quarters there for most of the week. And then by the end of the week, it gets you're on top of each other a little bit, and everybody's getting tired of some of the things being said maybe back and forth a little bit. So, yes, this is an all-star game. Yes, this is a Shriner all-star game for a worthy cause. But, again, we have a bunch of competitive kids out here that have a lot of pride on the line. And so this is real football, and they're going to get after it today. So excited to see this thing go on here for another couple quarters, because right now there's a lot of physical play going on between both teams.
So the hard count draws the South offside. Fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 from the 11. Going to the air.
What a throw and catch.
Touchdown, Connor O'Neill, the Omaha North product. Brings it down and brings the North within 1 point of the South.
You know, it wasn't bad coverage by Jace Erickson, DB from Lincoln Southwest. He was in good position. The ball was thrown in a good spot, and then a lot of credit obviously goes to Connor O'Neill. That guy's been around football for a long time, and you know, has a high football IQ and his ability just to use his angles and get over that 50-50 ball. What a throw and catch coming out of that, getting that play right away on 1st down. They did not waste any time, so great job by the North squad, and the extra point is good. And that is Max Hammond from Norfolk Catholic knocking it through the uprights.
6:17 left in the first half, and it's 7-7. Well, maybe we have a flag on the far side of the field, but don't think this will impact the PAT.
We've got an illegal formation on the defense. That penalty is declined. The kick is good.
All right, so 7-7, Brandon. Both teams have showed a really good knack for overcoming adversity early in this game. You know, the North got on the scoreboard early. It was an exciting play. We had the reverse pass, and they scored off it. It got called back, said it was an illegal forward pass. I still haven't got that explanation yet. I'd be interested in hearing that. I know the North sideline was very upset about it. Then the South comes back, gets the score, you know, overcomes that, gets their head right, and then the North comes back and fights through some things and gets their score back. So 7-7 right now. Both teams, again, doing a good job fighting through some things and giving us an excellent start to this game.
Glad you're with us on News Channel Nebraska for our broadcast of the Shrine Bowl. We'd like to remind you this TV coverage is presented by Pinnacle Bank of Kearney, a proud supporter of local athletes. Also, Currency, which makes financing quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more. And also Lavander's Auto. Lavander's Auto Body, they promise to always provide value and outstanding service regardless of repair size.
They're going to take the point off the board the way it looks. It was good. They're going to move it towards the line of scrimmage, and now they're going to go for 2.
All right.
They're going to try and take the lead here, Brandon.
Coach Stein said there'd be a lot of trick plays and going for it and gambling, and pays off there. 2 points for the North.
Well, when you've got that Bailey kid at running back and you've got that big offensive line up there, you know, the chance of you getting 1.5 yards are pretty good, and Coach Kevin Stein felt good about those lined it up and got the score. So great job. There was a lot of good blocking up front. Jed Boettcher from Ord was in there, I know. They had Mapur from Westview was another one that was in there. A couple guys that in that offensive line, big offensive line for the North team, were able to lean on him and get Bailey a little bit of space that he needs. If he's got a sliver of daylight at all, he's usually going to be able to benefit from that.
That instant replay on the 2-point attempt brought to you by Smart Technology Solutions for your home, specifically Stanton Telecom. Good action here in the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. The North taking the lead with that 2-point conversion. 8-7 your score, 6:17 to go here in the first half.
So Max Hammond is going to tee it up here for the North here. Going to try and get some field position back for them, and The South's going to try and set up a return, see if they can get some real estate. The sunburst return. Some might call it a star return. Just a little razzle-dazzle where they're going to have it going to the up back and get it handed off to somebody coming through. And it's tough to sometimes track the ball, but the North did a great job of locking in and getting that play stopped before it got going.
That was a return by Spears. He got out to about the 23-yard line where the South will take over and see if they can answer.
Right now, your front four, Harrison Smith, Waverly. We also got number 72, Ben Madrigal from Elkhorn North. I believe number 66 is in there from Bishop, Newman, Caleb Swoboda. Three of those guys, and not to mention Thomas Roberts from Boone Central. I was down around that defensive line before the game, and I'll tell you what, those guys are very imposing force, that front four. The Roberts kid from Boone Central, boy, getting up close by him, he definitely looks like a Division I player. I believe he's going to North Dakota or North Dakota State next year. He's going to do a great job for that program. And, you know, he's a guy I feel like North Dakota State does a great job of getting down and recruiting. Bison always seems to find those diamonds in the rough, so to speak.
Ineligible
downfield. He's a diamond in the rough.
Number 61, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
So penalty on the play, on the incompletion, makes it 1st and 15. Bill was the intended target. A handoff to Gavin Shanahan.
So Shanahan from Elkhorn South, he is another guy. He's very similar to Bailey from North. If he gets a little bit of space, he can really make a defense hurt. Saw a great play from him in the scrimmages the other day. Able to watch some of their film from the scrimmage. Just a simple inside zone play that he was able to take about 65 yards. So he's a threat to go the distance each and every time he touches the ball.
2nd down and 9 for the South. Shanahan motioning out of the backfield. Faking the swing pass, and Volkmer will tuck it and run. Gets near the 30-yard line to set up 3rd and short.
So Madrigal from Elkhorn North took on a double team, was able to disrupt the play. Then a great job by Harrison Smith from Waverly, just getting down in a run fit as well, too, and disrupting it, and the backers were able to clean that up. So a lot of good football being played by that North defense right now. So 3rd down coming up for the South.
The South needs 4. 4:50 remaining in the 2nd quarter. Volkmer fires it in there on the little curl route. It'll be enough for a 1st down. Nice catch by Joe Kaliga of Scott.
Well, there's another special player. And, you know, does a great job getting in position to catch the ball, and it was really good coverage again by the North defense. But Kaliga is a special football player. Had an opportunity to watch him and his teammate Van Dyke in the championship game, and both those players are very special. And he came up with a play to get the 1st down for the South.
Kaliga going to South Dakota State next year.
Jackrabbit's got a good one for sure.
Volkmer in trouble here. Flushed out of the pocket and taken down. Sack made by Harrison Smith of Waverly.
Well, he continues to make an impact on the edge over there. Whether them or the pass, he has done a great job of collapsing the pocket. Him and Roberts are 2 imposing bookends, to be honest with you. Both those guys can flat out run, but they're also stout enough to play, you know, the run on defense. So, you know, I think when they do what they do at defensive end, it's a good thing for the North defense. And they're going to go with more of a speed package now, move Roberts in at tackle, and bring in some more speed off the edge and see if they can get some pressure on 2nd and long.
2nd and handoff up the middle, not much there. To your point about Smith making that play, it's always interesting, depending on the coach and how you approach getting your personnel for the Shrine Bowl, but this was calculated by Coach Stein. He said, we wanted to stack our defense first, knowing how the unit has to play with more of a disadvantage because of the rules, and they specifically went after some big boys up front and on the DNs, thinking it would lead to success here on the field, and we saw it on that last play.
Yeah, you usually want to have guys that can chew up the gaps in the middle, so get your big guys in there, right? And that's kind of what they've done. And Madrigal is all 5'11", 310 pounds, and they've got him playing tackle on those rundowns, and he's been able to eat up those double teams. What that allows is your defensive ends to play one-on-one against the tackles. And if they don't play one-on-one, you're going to have to bring a tight end or flex back in to help block or chip that defensive end. Well, that takes somebody out of the pass game, so you lose numbers that way. So the philosophy is definitely working, and, you know, I think it's similar philosophy as I watch the South and their defense. Same type of things are happening as well, too. So they've set their defense up around those rules that they can benefit the best they possibly can, and so far they are.
So timeout taken, 3rd and 16 facing the South. 3:21 to go here in the second quarter. Brandon Axman, Kurt Friends, and Dave Greek with you for the Shrine Bowl broadcast here on News Channel Nebraska.
Well, you look to try to get Amir maybe in the slot. Amir Hill from Millard South matched up on a safety, some sort of double post concept, but they're going to run into the flat, try to buy some time. And South did a great, or North did a great job in the back half of their defense, really shutting down. There wasn't a lot to go, and then up front they were able to collapse the pocket, and that's going to bring out the punt team for the South.
Yeah, Volkmer getting about 10 there, but he needed 18, so 4th and long, just under 3 to play.
On the back half of that defense, you've got the Pullman kid from Stanton. You know, I think he's one of those players that really stands out, had a tremendous career for the Mustangs up at Stanton. I had the pleasure of coaching his older brother in the 21 Shrine Bowl. Both those kids I know are tremendous football players, good wrestlers. He is a really special player as well, too, for the North team. And Becker, Pullman, Stanton High is going to go out to CHADRON State, where his brother currently is playing, and I know he'll do a great job for them.
Looks like we had interference on the punt return, so we'll have a flag. But, yeah, to your point, Wilkie and Pullman of Stanton, the first pair of teammates to both go for over 5,000 yards rushing in a career. That's pretty dang good.
Yeah, they're special, and they're multi-sport athletes, so I don't care what part of the season it is. It always seems like they're being successful. Wilkie is a tremendous track athlete as well, too, and just does a great job in that sport. Had a heck of a state track meet a couple weeks ago, and then coming out here, those guys are imposing figures for that North defense.
.222 remaining here in quarter number 2. North leads 8-7.
Interference
as the
on the kicking team, 15-yard penalty. It'll be first down.
All right, so 2:22. That's going to help out this North offense. They're going to come down here and try to extend their lead. And I can see them trying to get some early runs here to start this drive. And maybe take shots 2 or 3 plays in towards the end zone. But they're going to come out and throw right away on all hitches. So both teams have ran that concept. Just all the wide receivers, the 2x2 set, are all running 5-yard hitch routes. And quarterback's just going to try and find his matchup, find a green grass, and throw to that spot. And, these all-star games with the rules that they are, it's a concept that definitely is one that works pretty good.
That pass incomplete. Looks like that was for Whaley. The previous catch was made by Marcus Buchanan, and it's always interesting when you look at, you know, their best resume statistic for Buchanan of Omaha Burke. He has the state record for receiving touchdowns in a game with 6.
That's a full day's work. You better bring your lunch pail to work if you're going to be guarding that guy on defense. Quarterback run here for the North.
This is on 3rd and 10, and nowhere to go for Anderson. Gobbled up.
So now it'll be interesting to see what the philosophy is here for the South and North, to be honest with you. North going to go for it. They are on their own side of the field, Or are they going to let the clock run down and punt it? I think they're going to let the clock run down and punt it away. And seeing that, it looks like the South called a timeout. And they want to get the ball back with some time left on the clock and see if they can't move it down there and get a score late in this first half.
The timeout taken with 1 minute and 30 seconds to play before half. Again, it's 8-7. North leading the South. Here on News Channel Nebraska, our coverage is presented by Pinnacle Bank, Currency, and Lavander's Auto Glass for all of the action here today.
Well, it'll be interesting after these teams come out here. I think that the North will stay with the punt formation and get the ball punted away, but they could go for it. But if they do, you know, if you are the South offense, you probably want to look at bringing Van Dyke and Kliga from Scott out here together. They definitely have that, you know, built-in cohesiveness, and that they could try and take advantage of late here in the first half. There's definitely a lot of weapons for that South offense, that those two definitely have played a lot of football together, and I think there could be some things they could take advantage of, and they are indeed going to come out and punt. At least come out and punt formation.
On the punt for the North, number 20, Quinn Bailey.
4th and 6, and you can see South doesn't have anyone back. But it is a punt. Not a great one.
Well, they got good field position here for the South offense. So coming out, we'll see who we have. They're going to bring out their offensive line first, and some guys that have been out there again. Connor Wayne, Ben Marion, I believe, are back out there. Landon Sabota from Ashland Greenwood, your offensive lineman.
First down and 10.
Aiden Whited from Papio is out there, from Papio South maybe. Yes.
Coming up at halftime. Presentation by the.
So Whited from Papio South at center right now, and they're actually bringing out Colby Volkmer from Pius X at quarterback. He's going to try and lead their team down the field here into the first half.
And puts it right on the spot, close to a first down. In fact, it is a first down.
Ran a mere hill deep and just had a little hook route from Joe Kaliga underneath, and he was able to find a window. He did a good job stepping up. There was some pressure from Thomas Roberts off the edge, so he did a nice job stepping up and getting that.
That was handed off to Shanahan. He was hit hard.
And that's Pullman. So, again, Pullman has played a lot of football in his career, and I'm sure his brother and he were definitely playing backyard ball as they were growing up. So, two tough physical kids, and Becker Pullman came up with a big hit there for the North defense.
49 seconds remaining as South team clocked it. 3rd and 8.
7-yard line.
And they've got a good kicker. I know they can get in field goal position here. That young man has done a great job of kicking this week, and I think the Kearney Catholic product, Weens, if he gets just a few more yards, actually, he could have a shot to kick it. But Thomas Roberts, you know, standing by him and then again coaching against him for a couple of years, I don't like to throw this term around loosely, but a kid of his athletic ability and his ability to run, he could potentially be a Sunday-type talent. And I'm not going to throw that around, like I said, or give compliments out like that, or try to paint something that isn't there. But I'm just telling you, that kid, when you stand next to him, he is an opposing figure. When you watch him compete in other sports, you see how athletic he is. And then when you watch him on the football field, you see what kind of football player he is. And we all know what kind of players North Dakota State has turned out over the years. If he just goes in and buys into that program up there, I could see him doing some great things.
Well, when you talk about what he did, 178 total tackles, 52 tackles for a loss, and just 21 sacks in his career.
I'll tell you, you had to game plan for him. You know, again, we had the unfortunate pleasure of playing them for a couple years there. He was on a state championship team for Boone Central, and you always had to kind of know where he was at when he was on defense. And his ability to disrupt plays, again, whether it was run or pass, he was very good in both phases of the defense there. And again, they're going to move him back to the middle on these type of plays here. And he's a guy that can play several different positions on defense as well.
On 4th down, punt it away. 31 seconds is what the North has to work with here.
Well, knowing Coach Stein, I don't think he's going to be satisfied with just heading into half. I think he's going to try and do some things to work the ball down the field here. And again, maybe get in field goal position or at least have a shot on the other side of the 50 that they can throw up and, get something in play in the end zone here to end the first half. Last year's Shrine Bowl, I know we had some fireworks in the first half, and there was a score right at the end, and that made a big difference in the game as well, too. So it'd be interesting to see how they come out and play on offense, and again, how the South decides are they going to sit back and cover 4, play 4 deep defenders, how they're going to defend the North offense.
Jackson Jenkins running on late for the North, play action. And Colin's forced to throw it away.
So I think they were going to try and isolate again, a quick route on the sideline. What they were trying to do, I believe, was trying to get T.J. Whaley from Bellevue West isolated. Unfortunately, there was some disruption by the South defense. Number 95, Brody Brunson from Platteview, came underneath the tackle's block and was able to get in the quarterback's face. He had to adjust, try to extend the play, make something out of that. Unfortunately for them, they were not. Unfortunate for the defense of the South that they got to stop.
Look out. Pressure by the South, and a credit to Collins for evading it and again throwing it away with 15 seconds to go.
So very good job of getting pressure and getting off one-on-one blocks by the South defense. They dropped 95 into coverage, so Brunson came on the rush last time, but then he dropped there. But Brody Walsh, DC West product, was able to get in quarterback's face and force a quick throw.
Carry up the middle there for Bailey as the clock will wind down and take us to halftime. Your score at the break, North leading by 1. North 8, South 7. Officially at halftime of the 67th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl.
Yeah, I thought both teams did a good job of, coming out and really showing some moxie. And we talked about that, being able to overcome some adversity early in the game, getting points on the board. And in that same frame of mind, the defense was able to do the same thing, right? They gave up some scores, but able to come up with some big plays late in that second quarter to slow down the other team's offense. So I think kind of balanced out here a little bit as the game went on, and it was just some good football here to start the Shrine Bowl, and really pleased to see both these teams come out and play as hard as they are right now.
Pack stands here at Ron and Carroll Cope Stadium. Let's go down field side with Dave.
Cernik, Shrine Bowl, Nebraska Executive Director, presents the Creighton and
Now, it could have been more. What did they say to you on that trick play?
Yeah, they said we pitched it twice, and we handed the ball off. We've been working on it all week, and so it is what it is. And not the right call, but it is what it is.
What do you look for out of this squad in the second half to make sure that you guys hold on to the lead and get the victory?
We have to kind of just finish some drives. I think each time we're kind of moving the ball, but we're not quite finishing the drives, like those first couple that we had. And then somehow we got to try to keep the two Scott kids and the Shoemaker kid and them. They got so many weapons on offense, just not letting them get free is extremely hard. But I think we got to finish drives and try not to let them have the big play.
This is an all-star game for a good cause. You are still really competitive. What is it about football that brings out those juices?
There's just play for fun, It's just and it is, and you want to. It's just the way we're wired. We're different dudes.
Good luck to you in the second half. Kevin Stein, head coach of the North squad, as the North has an 8-7 lead while they take on the South. We're back with more coverage right here at Foster Field for the 67th Nebraska Shrine Bowl.
Tyson Cesar Hastings.
Good job on getting that quick.
Mike Berger, potentate to Cesar Shrine Center, Lincoln. Representing Shriners International, please welcome Tim Forbes, Imperials.
You cruise down Main and everybody waves. It's a good life. Where you're born and raised in a place where everybody knows your name. You cruise down Main Street and everybody waves. It's the good life.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Agri-City Insurance, a proud supporter of Norfolk Athletics. House of Barbers, proudly supporting Kearney Athletics. And by Subcon, a proud supporter of Burwell Athletics. NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. The Carpet Shop, providing quality residential and commercial floor covering and installation for almost 50 years. And by 5 Points Bank, the better bank. NCN Sports is brought to you by Elite Health and Wellness, a proud supporter of Kearney Athletics, the Madrigal family, a proud supporter of Omaha Athletics, and by Elkhorn Antler Football Booster Club, a proud supporter of Elkhorn Athletics.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Banghart Diesel Performance, located in Wahoo, Nebraska. Proud supporters of area athletics. Hancock Construction in Wahoo. Quality craftsmanship with a commitment to service. And by Mary Lanning Healthcare. Your care, our inspiration. This is Nebraska. And so is this. News Channel Nebraska's mission is to connect everyone in Nebraska, urban and rural. Because when people in Palisade understand what happens in Grand Island, and when people in Scotts Bluff get to share their story with the people of Niobrara, we become one Nebraska. This is Nebraska, and this is home. NCN Sports is brought to you by Colors Law of CHADRON. Legal support for estates, corporations, businesses, and more. Ridgeview Country Club of CHADRON. When you play golf, play the best. And by Sandy Creek Public Schools.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Speedy Mart. When you have to fuel your journey and feed the crew, whether it's many or a few, Speedy Mart is fresh, ready, super clean, and convenient.
Here, customers can expect the highest quality fuel that they deserve.
And when you make a pit stop, it's gotta be fast. Easy in, easy out. Speedy Mart for the win.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Larson Motors in Nebraska City. Find your new Chevrolet, GMC, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram today at LarsonMotorGroup.com. And by Cooperative Producers, Inc., making local matter.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Colors Law of CHADRON. Legal support for estates, corporations, businesses, and more. Ridgeview Country Club of CHADRON. When you play golf, play the best. And by Sandy Creek Public Schools.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy. Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
And welcome back to Ron and Carol Cope Stadium. Brandon Axelman, Lakeview's Kurt Frenzen here for the Shrine Bowl here on News Channel Nebraska. Coach, 8-7, North leading the South. We just were given the stats. You were able to dissect it a little bit with your coaching mind as you read the stats and after you taken what you saw in those first two quarters. What's the story of the first half?
Well, first off, the South offense, they were able to get some things going with Dylan Van Dyke at quarterback. He was 5 for 8 for 84 yards. He had the big long pass play to Chance Burton. Did a great job at extending the play. Again, Chance turning the route up the sideline. He was able to find him. That was a big connection to get our scoring underway. So I think Van Dyke, when he was in the game, it'll be interesting to see how they handle the quarterbacks. Volkmer did a nice job coming in, and when he had time to throw, he was effective. Problem was he didn't have a lot of time on a couple plays, and that definitely was a disruption. So he did give up a couple sacks when he was in. But again, if he has some time, he's okay to be in there as well, too. So how they handle the quarterbacks, how they handle the offensive line rotation, how can they get the South offense maybe more in a groove a little bit. Shanahan from Elkhorn South product, I think he's a guy that you can look for to shake loose. Now, he's got 5 carries for 17 yards right now. That's not a lot. He's only averaging about 3.5 yards a carry. But I could see him really getting in a groove in this second half. He gets a little bit of a seam, like I said, he can go. Flip things on the north side offensively. Quinn Bailey, 9 carries, 30 yards. His long right now is only 5 yards, but he just kind of been nickel and diamond a little bit in the run game. He's done a really nice job of shaking loose a little bit. And then passing-wise, Collins has done a nice job extending plays. He's got 48 yards passing right now to lead the North offense. Receiving, his big target so far has been Cooper Johnson. He's got 4 catches for 33 yards. And so there's been some really good opportunities for their offense. They do have that 8-7 lead. They were able to get that play and get in the end zone there towards the end of the first half. So good job by them as well, too. Defensively, I thought both defenses settled in and played really well, honestly. We're able to do a great job of just executing at a high level, and we talked about some different things. As you watch on the highlights, one of the things you can go back to is just that great play by O'Neal. Had a great catch in the end zone for the North offense, the Omaha North product. Did a great job again just going up and getting that 50-50 ball. And they had the short field to go, and they elected to come back out and go for 2 and take the lead 8-7. So just a great job by their play. And then we've got Roberts coming free here and really making some noise along with the other defensive end, number 44 for the North defense, escaping my mind. Harrison Smith, Waverly, just did a tremendous job. And like we talked about, those two guys just playing bookends for that North defense were able to be disruptive and make some great plays for that North defense.
Those halftime highlights that you just saw brought to you by Gibbon Tractor Pull. Be a part of the Gibbon Tractor Pull on August 2nd for engine-roaring, dirt-flying fun. The Gibbon Tractor Pull bringing you those halftime highlights. Coach, as you mentioned, 8-7. The lone touchdown for the South, which happened first in that first quarter, was a Dylan Van Dyke pass to Chance Burton, 45 yards. And as we saw in the highlights, answered by that Connor O'Neill touchdown catch, an 11-yard pass for the North. And that two-point conversion gives them the lead. So we have about 6 minutes left in halftime. We're going to take a break. 8-7, North leading the South. Brandon Axelman, Kurt Frenzen, and Dave Greek with you for the 67th Annual Shrine Bowl on News Channel Nebraska. We'll be back.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Cozad Telephone Company, now offering high-speed internet in rural Cozad. USAVE Pharmacy in Norfolk, a proud supporter of Norfolk Catholic and healthy families. And by Cooperative Producers, Inc., making local matter.
At the racetrack or the rat race round town, fuel matters. Here, customers can expect the highest quality fuel that they deserve.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Banghart Diesel Performance, located in Wahoo, Nebraska. Proud supporters of area athletics. Hancock Construction in Wahoo. Quality craftsmanship with a commitment to service. And by Mary Lanning Healthcare. Your care, our inspiration.
We're committed to providing you with the highest level of service, so you will always choose us for your collision repairs. Lavanders has been Nebraska's most trusted body shop for 25 years. With 15 locations across the state, we promise to provide world-class service with our highly trained and skilled technicians. We understand the importance of community and the values that make Nebraska great. We're not just fixing cars, we're investing in community success. Lavanders Body Shop. We are Nebraska's body shop.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
Nebraska for the 67th Nebraska Shrine Bowl, joined by Tim Forbes, the Shriners Hospital International Board member. Tim, you told me you've been with the organization for 50 years. You've been a Shriner for half of that almost. What is it about this organization that has kept you around for such a long time?
The Masonic fraternity as a whole is one of the most amazing things. Most of the charities that we donate to all involve kids, especially the Shriners Hospitals. Shriners donate primarily to the hospital system and to the care of kids. And we've got the best care anywhere.
And for the kids, especially some families who may not be able to afford it, what is the message that you guys give to them? And we already talked to a kid named Orlando Dhaenens, who is such a special young man. What is that message you're sending to them to make them feel uplifted and appreciated and important?
Well, what we want to do is we strive to achieve the fact that every kid can be a kid, regardless of whatever challenges they have. Doesn't matter whether they're missing a limb, they've been burned, or whatever the issue may be, or their scoliosis. We want to make sure those kids are able to run, play, and have a good life.
Nebraskans love to help other people. What's the best way for Nebraskans to help the Shriners Hospital?
Oh, get involved. 100%. Get involved. Get involved in a fundraiser. Get involved in the fraternity. Get involved in doing something because it absolutely gives back to the community.
Tim, we appreciate your time, and once again, another successful Shrine Bowl here in Kearney, Nebraska. That's Tim Forbes, the international Shriners Hospital board member. Yes. Something along those lines. Tim, thanks for the time. We'll be right back here at Ron and Carroll Cope Stadium for the 67th Nebraska Shrine Bowl.
Thank you, Dave, and thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying the broadcast. Again, 8-7-140 until we get this second half underway. Our coverage is presented by Pinnacle Bank, a proud supporter of local athletes. Also, Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items? Currency is here to help. Visit GoCurrency.com. And also Levander's Auto Body, where they promise to always provide value and outstanding service regardless of repair size. Coach, you've been in the halftime locker room of a Shrine Bowl game. Adjustments are made. You say keep doing the same thing. How do you approach this All-Star game as opposed to maybe a regular football game, or is there any difference?
There isn't any different. You're going to get the same routine that you would have any other game. And speaking of coaching adjustments, it's probably a great opportunity to recognize our coaches from each staff. Head coach Kevin Stein, Grand Island Northwest, the Stein family is very familiar with the Shrine Bowl. If there's going to be a first family of football in Nebraska, I think the Stein family would be one that could be mentioned in that arena. Father Dick Stein was a head coach at CHADRON. Same year, honestly, Kevin was the MVP of the Shrine Bowl. Very legendary coach out at CHADRON. Also, brother Chris was a coach. And his nephew, T.D. Stein's actually calling the offense today. So T.D. Stein also a part of this game. But Coach Stein coached at Lee to start off his career, went out to Gordon Rushville, then been at Grand Island Northwest ever since. His assistant, Jeff Yanetic, GI Northwest alumni, played at Nebraska Wesleyan, current defensive coordinator at GI Northwest. James Patterson is an assistant, started at Thomas Jefferson in Iowa, at Bryan out south, and now at BURKE. And then we'd mentioned T.D. Stein, played at CHADRON State, first job at South Sioux City, went actually the college side of things, West Texas State A&M, and now is the head coach out at Alliance. Joe Anderson, alumni of OAKLAND-CRAIG. He actually played at South Dakota University, went to Plainview, won a state title in 2006 at Plainview. Currently at OAKLAND-CRAIG, 17 straight trips to the playoffs. 2 were state runner-ups. He also played in the Shrine Bowl. Joe Anderson, a very respected coach in our profession here in Nebraska. Mike Kozel, another legendary coach, played at CHADRON State, Sargent Public Schools for 32 years, coached at Sargent, and then Twin Loop has 1 state title, 4 state runner-ups for Coach Kozel. And then Cookshausen, Nick Cookshausen, went to Doane College, 3-year starter for them on the offensive line, started out at Kimball and then at Mitchell for the last 8 years. Then on the south side, Coach Nizzi, very respected coach in football here in Nebraska, started his career in Iowa at Dowling Catholic, went to Boys Town Creighton Prep, and has now settled back in at Boys Town. I had a chance to coach against both Coach Stein and Coach Nizzi. Coach Stein and our program at Lakeview played in the sub-varsity levels for many years, and we have had the opportunity to play against Boys Town. Both coaches run a great program and very well deserved to be in this game, head coach of their respective sides. Randy Geyer, been around a long time, Culbertson High School alumni, UNK grad, head coach at Ord, Winside, Nebraska City Lords. Last 16 years at Juanita Palisade, has won a state title at Juanita Palisade. Randy Geyer, a very well-known coach here in the state of Nebraska. Curtis Larson, Peru State alumni, started teaching in Lincoln, been at Plattsmouth, tough physical teams at Plattsmouth that he's coach. CHADRON State graduate, is now currently at Boys Town as our next assistant. Also Mike Troy, Northwestern College grad, Omaha North, Bellevue East, Platteview, DC West. Been through different schools there. Mark Newmeyer, Doane University grad, UNK football, Creed High School. And then Maurice Donnelly is another assistant here to round out the staff of the North. Has done a great job this week. All these guys have done a tremendous job prepping their teams, and just excited to recognize those coaches. They've given up their time to come out and give to this very worthy cause.
Well, and to that point, too, there is a protocol to how to get the honor of being the head coach. At first, you have to be chosen to be an assistant, serve, see how it all works, and then you get the opportunity to be the head coach. And, for Kevin Stein, he was an assistant back in 2002, so over 20 years later before he gets brought back into the Shrine Bowl. And for Coach Nizzi, a little bit sooner, he was the assistant back in 2013. about 12 years ago before coming back. And do you remember what it was like when you got that call asking?
It was tremendous. Before we even get into that experience, I do want to mention John McClain was the one I left off the list here, assistant for the South. But to get that notification that you are going to be invited as an assistant coach is such a great honor to be a part of that. That first staff that I had the pleasure of coaching under Arnie Johnson, the legendary Boone Central coach that won state titles there. And, you know, I've always coached against Arnie, but to have an opportunity to coach on his staff. Mike Huffman was another assistant. Jared Meisenberg was an assistant. Just some great memories from those teams as I look back on that experience. It was awesome to be a part of that. In 2013-14 was actually when the game was played at our staffs were in the 13 high school season. Then fast forward to 2021, I got the call to be the head coach of the North Shrine team. What an experience that was to put together your staff, to put together your team. I just had a great staff to work with all week. You know, I had the opportunity to take some assistants with me. Jeff Bargan, my defensive coordinator, longtime defensive coordinator, just coincidentally got named the assistant coach of the year in the state of Nebraska. He was able to experience the Shrine Bowl with me in 21. All those things are great memories that we'll be able to carry on and ready to kick off the second half.
We start with the little squib kick fielded by the South and across the 40 will be where the South will start things. Return by Chance Verton, who has the lone touchdown for the South thus far.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they come out. Are they going to come out and really try to take shots early? They're going to try nickel and dime them a little bit in the passing game and get the ball to the edge to Amir Hill, Thomas Spears, and some of the other big play receivers. They're going to try and establish a run. So we're going to find out here quickly, see what the adjustments were at halftime, how they're going to attack this North defense.
Van Dyke, pass incomplete out to the far side. Looks like he was trying to connect with Knott.
So they come out and try to attack the flat initially, start things, usually a pretty safe pass to try and get the offense kind of in a groove. And usually, you know, those type of plays, they may be looking to take a shot over the top a little bit, but they want to try and get the quarterback some confidence coming out early and usually try to get that safe pass. They're going to come out in a 2-by-2 set on their second down play.
A little bubble screen attempt.
Just about had an interception there, Brandon. So good job by the defensive line in reading that and sitting down, and about had a big play for that North defense. It's going to bring up 3rd and long for this South offense. You give Van Dyke, you turn him loose here, try to get Kaliga the isolation on the outside here, try to go deep, and that's exactly what they're going to do. Oh, just off the fingertips. So two guys that have made a living over the last how many years, doing a great job of trying to get some things shook loose down the sideline. Unfortunately, we've got a player down for the North defense.
So that's A.J. Palladino currently down. Going back to that pass to Kaliga, that was certainly a tough pass, but Coach, where do you sit on the, if it hits you in the hands, it needs to be caught?
Well, these guys aren't going to be in midseason form by any shape or form, but the thing is with this, you know, you get a situation like that, you do get a chance. You want to try and do everything you can to get that thing and haul it in, and I know he'd like to have that one back. It was a pretty good pass, pretty good attempt to get his hands up and snag that ball. Just unfortunately couldn't get that done, and we've got a Palladino coming off the field with assistance, so hopefully he'll be okay, and that's not going to be a long-lasting injury.
Palladino, 75 tackles, including 4.5 sacks. As a senior, he'll be playing at Wayne State College next year. 4th down and 10 coming up for the South.
You know, Wayne State did a nice job recruiting. They're pulling a lot of these good players off this Shrine Bowl. They are taking them to Wayne America, so a great job. great job fielding that ball, and they'll get the North offense back out on the field. I know Coach Stein is eager to get that offense clicking here. I know he's got a couple more tricks up his sleeve. Talked to him before the game, gave me a little bit of insight on what they're going to try and do, so I'm going to look out for a couple tells that he gave me that a couple of those trick plays come out again. So I know he'll not leave anything back. He's going to try and do everything he can to get points on the board here, and we'll see how they attack and coming out. So a little two back in the backfield here, and they run a little counter back to the left of the offense and try to get Bailey shook loose a little bit. He was able to get a yard or so. That offensive line, again, going to try and lean on him here a little bit. I think the North offense, they've got a lot of things that they can take advantage of, and they've got some big dudes up front that can play ball. They've done a nice job on their pass protection as well here, too. So some guys that are in there right now, Mapur from Westview, Corbin Lindbergh, a couple of those guys on the outside, Landon Creighton from Westview. I believe they've got Jackson Jenkins from Mitchell, and then Boettcher from Ord are the big linemen up there, and Bailey able to pick up the first down, Brandon.
So that was a first down on 3rd down and 3, and we're going to recognize some of these players. We got some community supporters that we want everyone to know about for all of these Shrine Bowl players entering in this game, and it's a really good cause to get behind. So you're going to see some graphics flying up on the screen here on first down for the North, and we're going to provide some recognition for those players. That short pickup sets up about a 2nd down and 5.
So Carter Dishman for North Platte was pulling there and leading up through, and then Bailey was able to shake loose and did a nice job of getting some traction there. Just a little give to the edge there, trying to shake Antonio Palmer from South Sioux City loose on the edge, and Bailey actually leading around the outside. So 3rd and short here, Brandon. And, yeah, you're going to give it to Bailey in that situation. Let him do what he does, which is get those tough yards. He's done it his whole career. Tough kid. Really good wrestler, really good football player. Is going to be a very good collegiate football player as well. Really admired his career from afar. I know he's across the state, but he's a well-known player in our class, and he's showing his ability today.
Anderson going up top and drops it in the breadbasket. Hauled in by T.J. Whaley.
Well, if you play football at Bellevue West, you're accustomed to making big plays, and for Coach Huffman's offense, they make a living out of the deep ball. They're going to stretch you vertically when they can. They'll do everything in that pass game. They'll nickel and dime you. They'll try to do some different things on matchup routes, and they'll stretch the field vertically. And that was an example right there of getting that Bellevue West player in a position where he is comfortable, and that is running a deep route down the sideline. And then Anderson does a great job of throwing it up and getting him the ball, and it was just a little bit short. Otherwise, he would have scored on that play.
So 9-14, 8-7 your score. Glad that you're with us here on News Channel Nebraska. The scoring summary up to this point. First quarter, about midway through, Dylan Van Dyke hit Chance Verton on a 45-yard touchdown pass to put the South up 7-0. The North answered in the second quarter. Connor O'Neill hauling in an 11-yard touchdown pass with 6:17 to go. And then after an illegal formation on the defensive side of the PAT, the North team opted to go for 2. Quinn Bailey punched in the 2-point conversion, which is why we have the 8-7 game. Also, we didn't reference Coach Stein's comments about his touchdown being called back. Said, yeah, it was a good play, wrong call, but we'll move on. He was pretty matter-of-fact about that.
Yeah, he was not happy, you could tell, and rightly so. I mean, you're competitive. I liked how he summed that up. You know, we're just wired differently, and I would agree with that. All-star game or not, you want to win this thing.
And we have Wildcat here for Bailey.
So Bailey just going to line up in a full house backfield, basically, Wildcat, whatever you want to call it, and all run downhill type of play. And they're going to try and go fast here again and run that. Now, be awake. I could see some sort of play-action pass out of this. You get a bunch of runs like this, short yardage, and then all of a sudden he pulls up, throws a pop pass to the tight end. So they can't fall asleep. But right now they're leaning on him up front, and they're doing a good job of running behind those big boys up there right now.
That was a hurdle by Bailey. Sets up 1st and goal from the 3, staying in the Wildcat. This time, look out. There's penetration, and Bailey still gets positive yards. There is a flag on the field.
You know, Bailey reminds me of that cartoon character, the Roadrunner. His feet never stop going, and then just turning over at a high velocity. You can never count him out, never say he's down. You've got to clean up his runs all the time. I'm very impressed with him today. He is as advertised, and again, I think he's going to be making a big impact at the next level. So they're going to move the ball towards the end zone, which is not good for the South defense, and again, get Bailey and company a little bit closer to the end zone.
Illegal formation. Again, your linebackers have to be 4 yards off the ball unless it's goal line. More penetration here, but diving into the end zone is Bailey for the touchdown. North extends its lead.
So that was, 3 straight run plays off the right side there, and a lot of good blocking on the edge. You know, you've got some big boys up there like we talked about. Jed Boettcher from Ord leading the way there at right tackle. There were some other big fellas over on that side, but he's one that stood out. We just had some good football being played on that edge, good old-fashioned football, straight downhill runs. Extra point's going to be good. So Coach Stein, very excited to coach in this game. You know, again, we talked about his family having deep ties in high school football in Nebraska. Very well-respected coach. He's been doing it a long time. You know, his father passed away about 4 years ago, the legendary Dick Stein. Coach Stein actually shared with me he's wearing his dad's shoes today down on the field. So, you know, excited to represent his dad once again in this game on a small gesture to do that. And so he was excited to get out here, and you can understand why he's invested in this and being so into this game and ready to go.
Well, 8:30 to go here in the third. Let's go back down to Dave, who has a North player on the sideline.
Jay Whaley, who just had a huge grab to get the North team set up for a touchdown. He took a few more plays, but still, what was the play call there, and what did you see?
Well, I was called 59, and I got outside the corner. I seen that ball go up, and I kicked it up. Dove out, just made a great play. Great defense, but just great plays both sides.
Great throw as well.
Great throw. Props to my quarterback. Yes, sir. Props to him.
So you're going to be doing more of this, hopefully, in your career. You signed up to play football here at UNK. Yes, what kind of experience have you had with Coach Held so far?
Oh man, Coach Held's great, man. He can really introduce someone. Like, he's really good, really good talker, really good coach. He's one of the main reasons I actually committed to Kearney. He's a really good guy. He takes care of me, take care of his players. He's just a great person.
And this week in general, what has it meant to you to be invited to the Shrine Bowl, to be participating in an all-star game that's got the best from around the state, and then the message that the Shriners have towards the kids who are being impacted by this?
Oh, it's great, man. It's really good. It feels really good playing for a really good cause. Playing for these Shrine kids, they all deserve it, and I loved it, man. The camp is great. These kids are great. Everybody's great. We just want to do it for the kids, make sure the kids are healthy and everything.
TJ Whaley, a Bellevue West product, suiting up for UNK, the blue and gold next year. The North has a 15-7 lead over the South. We'll send it back upstairs.
Thank you, Dave. And yeah, imagine we'll be seeing TJ Whaley here on Saturdays as we televise all the home UNK games. Whaley, 6'3", 205 pounds, and a future Loper making the catch there on that last drive. That pass play, Jackson Crawford, the intended target for the South, incomplete, brings up 2nd down and 10 here with 8:24 to go in the third.
Well, he's getting coached up right, and I'll tell you, Well, Mir Hill on the edge over here. He's lightning in a bottle and definitely a threat. But back to Whaley. You know, I liked how he gave props to his quarterback over here. Right when he was done with the interview, he ran right over to Anderson, put his arm around him, loved him up, and gave props again to the quarterback off camera. So you got to love players that are unselfish like that and want to make sure that they're given props and given due where it's needed, and he definitely did that. So great job not only making a play, but how he handled it afterwards as well.
3rd down and 2. Now for the South. Play action, Van Dyke going for it. Oh, what a catch.
Well, if you're in Class B football and, well, if you watch football at all in late November, you saw these two guys making these type of plays. They are special football players. So Van Dyke to Kaliga, and both those guys are teammates that have done that throughout the years. Coach Turman has really benefited from their services, and right now the South offense is benefiting from their services. So great job extending out the play. It was a little bootleg off counter action, off to the side and threw it up, and Kaliga was able to go up and get that 50-50 ball, and now the South's in business. And they go right back to him. Look at that.
Back to back. And that's how you go down the field and score. Kaliga. For I don't know how many times those two have connected over their high school careers. It's their first in the Shrine Bowl, and it brings the South within 2.
Well, credit to Coach Nizzi, right, and his staff over there on the South. You got to recognize that you got two teammates that are very high-powered athletes, guys that can make plays all the field, and they're familiar with each other. So what do? Let's get the ball in Van Dyke's hands. Let's allow him to go make plays with his teammates. They have that timing, that chemistry, again, that they've been able to build over the years. So, you know, let's not try to make it harder than it is. Let's get those guys an opportunity, giving them an opportunity to make plays. They did that. And right when you were on the north side of things, you thought you could take a breath a little bit. South comes right back down the field, and now they're going to kick the extra point here and try to pull within 1.
And they do exactly that. 15-14, 1-point game.
Well, they came out, both staffs did a really good job offensively, I felt, getting their offense ready to go. So whatever adjustments they made at halftime, little tweaks to this or that, maybe trying to figure out where their matchups were a little bit after a half. Whatever it may be, I thought both staffs did a great job of trying to get their offense in position to be successful, and they were.
7:52 left. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Shrine Bowl on News Channel Nebraska.
You'll love News Channel Nebraska. Live sports from every region of the state. Football, volleyball, basketball, baseball, soccer, bowling, and even 6-man football. If Nebraska kids play it, we air it. Small-town high schools with big hometown pride. Support local kids, support local schools, support Nebraska. Watch NCN Sports every week. NCN Sports is brought to you by Witty Physical Therapy, offering specialized treatments in Louisville and Plattsmouth, and by Crystal Cafe in South Sioux City, an icon known for good food, good service, and low prices.
Farming is no 9 to 5, and working safe is a must. This planting or spraying season, look up and look out for power lines. Stay 20 feet away and use caution when folding or unfolding equipment, because they're counting on you. To be in the stands, to be at the dinner table, to come home safe. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
Welcome back. So the kickoff goes out of bounds after the South touchdown. A legal procedure will give the North good position.
Yeah, so the North is going to try and answer here. You're about approaching halfway through the third quarter, and both teams, again, have established some things offensively. Now it's going to be back to the defense. What can they do to slow down the opposing offense? So we'll see maybe what kind of adjustments the South defense can make here to try and slow down.
Illegal kick out of
potent
bounds.
attack by the
spotted
North.
at the 35-yard line. First down.
And if you are the North, you know, O'Neill's done some really nice things out here at receiver. You try to isolate him a little bit. You have some openings in the slot, or you're just going to try and run downhill again. And they go right back to the run. Antonio Palmer, South Sioux City, again, tough running back, always runs behind his pads. You know, the first contact on that guy's not going to get him down. He's a very explosive player and always a threat.
Sets up 2nd down and 1, 7:28 to go, and throw to the outside. That was
Buchanan with the catch. Yeah, Buchanan with the catch. And I want to point out, great catch by him and following his blocker. O'Neill did it by catching the ball, right? Had some great catches over here. He's done a nice job offensively. And you turn around, and what's he do? Blue-collar work, right? He's going to do the blocking on the edge to get that extra space in the first down for that North offense. And here comes Palmer.
Across the 40, 7:09 remaining in the third. Brings up 2nd down and short.
I love watching the game within the game, right? And so O'Neill's over here on the edge blocking his tail off right now, and I am really enjoying the back and forth between him and the South defender, 81 Everett Heath. That young man is getting into it here. Those two are not, there is no love lost right now between those two. And number 81's helmet comes off right now, actually. And so we've got some chippiness going on. And get O'Neill out of the game, telling him to chill out a little bit maybe, but it is a physical game right now. And it's not just happening in the interior, right, where all the big guys and the linebackers are at. It's out here on the edge. And I have a little bit of appreciation for that. I want to see physical play in every square inch of the field, and we're seeing that right now.
Anderson going for it all. Excellent coverage.
It was a good job, honestly, breaking that up. The offensive man turned into the defensive man in that situation. So the wide receiver over on the edge over there was able to get over there and break that up. I believe that was the Elkhorn product for that North offense. And he did a nice job of getting the breakup over there.
Charlie Lansky, intended target. And it was Dane O'Mill on the coverage.
Palmer again with the carry, and again, he just has that body lean. Once he gets the carry, he's always run downhill. Just did a great job with that.
6:28 to go. Let's go down to Dave with somebody who just scored.
Better watch out. They're going to have this ball coming right. Up his sleeve.
So a hook and ladder. We'll get that audio fixed, and a hook and ladder for the North as they are threatening. And that was
Whaley on the hitch, and then he pitched it out to the outside. They got a few extra yards, so that won't be the last. I know there's at least one more play that Coach told me about that he wants to pull out today. Anderson going to roll to the left, or to his right, excuse me.
Wisely throws it out of bounds, sets up 3rd down and 3.
So big play here, 3rd and 3. Both teams need this play. The South defense wants to force the field goal attempt or at least make a tough decision on 4th down. North offense wants to convert here and just keep this going. And Bailey in the game. And they go to Bailey.
He has a 1st down and more pushed out near the 5.
Well, they've got two special backs. Bailey and Palmer, both those guys do a tremendous job of setting up their blocks. They just don't run right into the back of the offensive line. Patient runners, and then both of them have the ability to change speed right now. So they get the ball, find the hole, and get downhill. They are in a groove running the football right now. All of the North offense is benefiting from both Bailey and Palmer. And it is a ham and egg situation right now. and they are doing a great job of going back and forth between those two guys, balancing out the carries, getting fresh legs of football, and Palmer scores, the North benefits, and they answer back with another touchdown.
6-yard touchdown for Palmer as he finds the pylon and extending the North's lead again. Trying to keep the South at arm's length. With 5:46 to go, the touchdown is scored in the third quarter, and the PAT's good as well, so it's back to an 8-point game. The offense's coach really starting to find their groove here since halftime.
Yeah, Max Hammond tops that drive off with the extra point, and that is up and through the uprights. Coach Stein's in a groove calling the offense right now. T.D. Stein, I know, is up in the box right now calling the offense for Coach Kevin Stein. Right now what he's saying is, I've got Bailey, the CHADRON product, who really runs well. Let's get him the football, right? And then you got Palmer. Let's get him the football. And like I said, both those guys do a tremendous job of being patient, finding the seam, and once they find it, they have the ability to go from 0 to 60 in a hurry and do a great job of getting downhill and making plays.
You're watching the Shrine Bowl on News Channel Nebraska.
NCN Sports is brought to you by the Gibbon Tractor Pull on August 2nd. Stanton Telecom, smart technology solutions for your home. And by Cunningham's. Escape ordinary at Cunningham's Journal on the Bricks and Cunningham's on the Lake in Kearney.
Welcome back. Brandon Axum, Kurt Friends, and Dave Greek with you for the Shrine Bowl on News Channel Nebraska. Third quarter, 5:40 to go. It's a 22-14 lead for the North. We've seen 3 touchdowns since halftime. A Bailey 2-yard punch in for the North. Then South answered back. Dylan Van Dyke connecting with Joe Kaliga to make it a 1-point game. And most recently, Antonio Palmer, 6-yard touchdown carry to make it an 8-point game once again. So will the South answer back, Coach? We're about to find out.
Well, if the recent past would tell us a story, it is that they will answer back. Both offenses were on the verge of the first half. You felt like they were, left some points out on the field. And then the second half, that would tell a tale that they actually did, because they're getting those points across the goal line right now. If you are the South offense, I think you try to let Van Dyke do what Van Dyke does, extend the play, make the plays, see if they can't shake him like Amir Hill out on the edge loose a little bit. They're going to have 3rd and long, though, early in this possession here. And we'll see if they can't get some things going to try and answer back here with 4:50 left in the third quarter.
Another look at the swing pass to Owen Axman, Kearney Catholic product. He competed in the Little League World Series back in the day.
Yeah, what an experience that would have been. Everybody's watching that, thinking what that would be like to play in those type of games. He had the opportunity to do that. Wasn't quite able to hit that seam on the tunnel screen. Really close to maybe shaking one loose there. I would be surprised to come back to that later.
3rd and 11. And pressure by the North. Van Dyke evades it, throwing across his body, trying to find his favorite target, Kaliga, but unable to connect.
So a lot of pressure up front there. Several defensive linemen getting loose. Number 82, Tyson Fleshman, defensive end for Bennington, was able to apply pressure. I know Logan Dodson's in there as well, North Platte St. Pat's product. Logan's dad, long-time legendary coach from North Platte St. Pat's, just got his 200th win this past year. It's good to see Logan be able to overcome his dad's lack of athletic ability and make some plays out there defensively. I believe he got his athletic ability from his mom's side. He's putting pressure right there on the punt. On cue. So great job by Dodson coming through, and we talked about his athletic ability. Did a great job of coming through and pressuring that punt. Needless to say, though, wasn't able to get to it, and the punt got off, and there was some pressure there.
And that is a big hit. We said it was just an all-star game, right?
Yeah. and getting a little chippy there as they got up there and some words exchanged. Hey, I tell you, the thing is, when they are in the dorms like that, and I know I mentioned it early in the broadcast, but being able to experience that the couple times, the last 2 times I was part of the Shrine Bowl, that makes for an interesting dynamic. As you go through the week, there's some chirping that goes on there. Again, they're not bad kids. It's just the way it is. They're highly competitive, alpha dogs in the room, and they're going to give a little bit back and forth, and that's coming out on the field a little bit now.
So the North way backed up, ball on out their own 10-yard line, own 7 rather, and it's just under 4 minutes to play here in the third.
So, yeah, Everett Heath did a nice job there on that play, coming up and run support from the corner position. You know, he was one that was on the edge a couple times. They need to come up and make plays, and he got it done definitely in that situation there for that South defense.
Now 2nd and 13. Yeah, with a pump fake. And about a 6-yard pickup there for Nate Collins.
Cash Butenbach from Lincoln Southeast, a player that was able to make the play over in the space over there. Cash Butenbach definitely has a tradition here in the Shrine Bowl. His father, Ben Butenbach, was a Hastings High grad. Played for one of my mentors, Walt Olson, at Hastings High. Ben Butenbach went on and played at University of Nebraska. Lincoln was an outstanding football player for them. His son, Cash, out here on the field, doing a great job of representing the family name.
We've got a personal foul on the defense, number 91. They hit out of bounds.
He's made a lot of plays just like that for Lincoln Southeast. There is a penalty, unfortunately, for the South defense, and the North is going to march that off and head towards their end zone now with just about 3:27 left in this third quarter.
A personal foul against the South, automatic first down, 3:27 to play, as you mentioned. In the third, 22-14, your score.
Well, again, Butenbach over there on the edge. You know, he made a few plays in the first half, but definitely coming out the second half here, being able to get around the football a little bit and make some big plays for that South defense. And here we go with that North offense trying to get some things going on 2nd and long. Little play out on the perimeter.
Colin's pass complete to Solomon White.
Solomon White, I believe that Lincoln High product, being able to get the ball on the edge for that North offense.
3:05 to go here in the third, and that sets up a 3rd down and 1.
This is a big play here, 3rd and short. North offense looking to try and extend this drive. Who do you go to, Brandon? You go to Bailey. Always falling forward, right? There's that balance, that athletic ability, that wrestling background that he has. You know, he spent a lot of time on the mat. When you're a wrestler like he is, you just have that natural balance, that body lean, and he definitely takes advantage of that on the football field. Van Dyke going to look for Whaley. And a 50-50 ball. What a great catch on the sideline.
Toe tapping, bringing it down. Good coverage by Anthony Liggins, but a better play by the Bellevue West Thunderbird.
That was 2 outstanding football players going at it over here. The Central product and the Bell West product. 2 Metro guys getting after it over here on the edge. Van Dyke was able, not Van Dyke. Sorry, Nate Collins from Omaha Burke was able to throw the ball up on the outside. Whaley was able to go up and get it.
Now this one goes to Buchanan, who gets around the edge for 5. There's 2:23 left here in the third quarter. It's brought to you by Visit Kearney. The next time you're in Kearney, check out the new Visit Kearney Welcome Center located on Eunice campus. It's open 7 days a week until 5 p.m.
Well, good blocking on the edge over there. Again, Omaha North product, Connor O'Neill. He catches the ball. He blocks on the edge. Just does a great job. Going to play baseball at Augustana. I think it's a crime that young man's not going to go on and play football somewhere. But if I'm at Augie, I'm going to go over to the baseball field. I'm going to try and recruit that guy to be a dual sport athlete. I don't know if that's something possible at Division II level, but I would definitely look at it. He can play ball. He's doing a great job out there today on the perimeter.
Brings up 3rd down and 2.
Little quarterback keep. I'm going to try and run behind it, and he did a nice job bouncing that play out to the edge. Nate Collins, the Omaha Burke quarterback, going to go on and play football at Briar Cliff, and he did a nice job being a patient runner on that. You know, I thought they might go to Palmer on that, and probably so did the South defense. The South Sioux City running back did a great job of blocking on the edge over there, running behind that big offensive line for the North. Riley Levine in at center right now for Central City. You have the Lindbergh, Corbin Lindbergh from Clarkson Lee also playing in there. Mapur from Westview is one of the offensive linemen right now. Number 62, Chase Dittenber from Waverly. Trying to find our other young man. It might be Cal Wells from Broken Bow. That's your offensive line right now that they're running behind. And they're trying to stay running behind him right now with that give up the middle to Palmer.
46 seconds and counting here in the 3rd. Still an 8-point lead for the North. And they're looking to make this a 2-possession game right before this 3rd quarter wraps up.
So, yeah, you have 3rd and about 8 here, 30 seconds left. You know, what's 2 schools of thought here, right? Don't do anything stupid. You don't want to take points off the board, or you want to be aggressive. Let's get after it. We got them on their heels a little bit. Looks like they're going to try and stay aggressive. Oh, just out of the reach. Man, that play was disrupted. Number 45, Jason Traylor, defensive lineman from Omaha Central, came through for that South defense and really disrupted the play. Did a great job. Also, Ty McDougall, I believe, was another player that was around the football, propelling La Vista South product.
You had Collins trying to find Palmer. Going to set up a field goal attempt. This is going to be 36-yarder.
So this is Max Hammond from Norfolk Catholic. That guy's accustomed to winning, and you got to have great special teams to win as many games as they do at Norfolk Catholic. And
50-2 over his career. And there's the field goal.
Yeah.
He can do it.
A lot of extra points, right? I'm sure that he's kicked throughout his career, but definitely shows he has a leg to get out there and get those longer field goals. And so 16 seconds left in this 3rd quarter, and the South needs to answer on this next possession to stay in this ball game.
And you reference Norfolk Catholic. You have a pair of them. You have Hammond for Norfolk Catholic and also Hayden Kelly. Again, 50-2. Not a bad career for those pair of Knights.
Yeah, you know, Coach Beller's one of the winningest coaches in not only Nebraska, but I'm sure the United States. And he's done a great job of this program. And the mark of any good coach is just the ability to have consistency, right? And you want to talk consistency, well, that's Coach Beller. Over the years, year in and year out, he has his teams perform at a high level. And as a coach, you just want your teams to reach potential, right? Not only is he able to get his teams to reach potential, he's able to get his teams to exceed their potential. And he just has done a great job. And as somebody, I've unfortunately been on the bad end of a lot of those games I've coached against him, but learned a lot through that same process as well.
Final seconds of the 3rd quarter, 25-14. North on top. Short return there by Hill to the 24-yard line. We'll see a play, maybe 2, before this 3rd quarter comes to an end.
So a good tackle by the Lexington football player, Cesar Cano. He is a player that came in and made the play there and got the kickoff coverage where it needed to be. So nice job by him making that open field tackle. And here comes the South offense.
So Volkmer back in at quarterback for the South.
So going to try and stay patient here, not pushing the panic button. You know, they are going to run the football here to end the third quarter, but I wouldn't be surprised. This is a good opportunity in between quarters if you're going to run some sort of gadget play to get your team all on the same page. This might be the opportunity. We saw that last year coming out of the third quarter. We had that reverse pass for a touchdown for the South offense, so be awake. We might be able to see something here.
25-14. Let's go down to the field to Dave Greek as we get ready for the fourth quarter.
Cernik, the executive director for the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. John, how would you rate this year's version?
Well, we've had a great camp. Coaches did a great job picking players this year. We had a tremendous group of young men who were self-disciplined, and camp was fine. We had a couple of weather issues. It was a little chilly Tuesday morning, and they came in, their hands were a little cold, but you know, it's football and you just got to play it the way it is.
Back in 2013, the Shriners decided to move, well, kind of had to move the game to somewhere else other than Memorial Stadium. You chose Kearney, Nebraska, Foster Field, and you've stuck with it. Why have you stayed here in Kearney?
Well, we've had great partnerships with both the University of Nebraska Kearney, Kearney Public Schools, and then the Eunice Center. So we've had everything has been so well done here, and the community is so supportive. It's like this is a thing that is embraced by the community of Kearney, and it would be hard to move it.
What I was going to say, what would be the future of the Shrine Bowl? Is there any talks about going somewhere else or going back to Lincoln, because the NCAA rules are all over the place anymore?
You know, we haven't had those talks because we don't know what's going on with the NCAA either. But as far as we know, it's still off limits for all-star games to be played on the university property.
Last question, and this is the toughest. Who came up with the titles for all of these individuals working with the Shriners?
The titles?
The titles that I can't say well on camera.
Oh, that's an age-old question that goes back to the early days of the Shriners when it actually originated in the eastern United States. So I got to pass the buck to the elders of the Shrine.
Thanks, John. We're sending it back upstairs.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dave. And fourth quarter is officially underway, 25-14. I want to draw your attention to our scoreboard graphic throughout this quarter. We're going to be flashing up headshots and graphics of all of these players who are a part of the Shrine Bowl. A lot of community businesses want to be associated with and recognize their local hometown players. And for the Lincoln and Lincoln area players, that is O Street Carpet. You see a couple of Ashland Greenwoods and Spears and Sabata. You have Butenbach, Omo, Crawford, Erickson, Stoiter, Volkmer, and White, all representing the capital city. And Chase Dittenber out of Waverly never gave up a sack his senior year on the line. All of these players being recognized by O Street Carpet, the Lincoln area players in this game, as this is punted away by the South. And again, you're going to see on that scorebook at the bottom of your screen players popping up from different communities and their local sponsors wanting to recognize them and be associated with the accomplishments and achievements and honor for being chosen for the Shrine Bowl. So you'll see that throughout the fourth quarter, as well as we have a lot of football left to be played. 25-14 your score. Here's one of three different slides of the Omaha players brought to you by Lavander's Auto, because there's 32 players representing the Metro: Whaley, Poteet, Brown, Butenbach, Lamsky, Mole, Madrigal, Palladino, Shanahan, Fisher, and Thomas, all being represented by Omaha and the Omaha area, and Lavander's wanting to recognize all of the Omaha area players. So the North takes over, and Coach, that's not what you wanted if you were the South when you find yourself down 2 possessions, and the North now a chance to add to it. And what almost could have been a pick six turns into a catch for Whaley. Or did they wave him out of bounds?
Well, Whaley was wide open. It was just thrown probably about a yard or two short. What they did was they'd been running that short little bubble screen spot on the outside. And just a little go route off that. Instead of blocking, Whaley just went ahead and went up the sideline and just did a great job of working his way free. He was wide open down the sideline, just left a little bit short, but he was able to get it in off the tip. And now the North's in business again.
That was Kozad's Noah Shoemaker who had it go off his fingertips. Great athlete for the Cozad Haymakers, and there's a tackle behind the line of scrimmage. That's Caden Shadinkel out of Seward making the play.
Yeah, I saw Cozad on film against Central City this year, prepping for Central City in the playoffs, and that was a game. I don't know, it was 50-something to 50-something to end in double overtime, and Shoemaker was all over the field. He was a tremendous football player for the Haymakers that night. Ooh, fumble. Just what the South defense would need in this situation. They need to get a turnover here. Unable to haul it in, though. So not very many mistakes, right, by both teams. This hasn't been a game that's been riddled with turnovers. Both of them taking care of the ball pretty well, but up, 2 scores right now, and they're getting a little sloppy with the football. They're going to go empty here, see if they can't get something here on 3rd and long. Wide open down the middle.
Collins is telling his receivers to go up the field. He tried to find Cooper Johnson, incomplete. So
Bailey shook loose. He was behind everybody in the secondary. I don't know if we'll have a replay, but he came open right away and then kind of continued to be open. I don't know if you'll be able to see him. I don't know if it was because the ball was dropped, but Bailey kind of snuck behind the secondary, and I don't think he could find him after he bobbled the ball and kind of went underneath the route. And he did have somebody there, just wasn't able to connect. And O'Neill be on to punt for the North.
Well, South defense doing exactly what it needed to, forcing the punt. Not a lot of time coming off the clock. 10:20 remaining as this will be down inside the 10. Let's take a look at some more of those Omaha players here in the Shrine Bowl, brought to you by Lavander's Auto. Mirren, Bogacz, Dhaenens, Amir Hill, Millard well represented, Greenlee and McDonald. Then you have Burke, Buchanan, who had his touchdown called back, and Collins, the quarterback, Liggins, and a trailer, all from Omaha Central. These Omaha players being recognized by Lavander's Auto, as we have a penalty which will push the South team back closer to their own end zone. We have a few more Omaha players we're going to recognize as well, as there's a little break here with 10:14 to play.
Place the ball at the 9-yard line, 1st down.
That'll put the ball back at the 9.
Well, the officials were bringing it out away from the end zone. I don't know, unless they thought they were going to replay the down, but they're going to set the ball down at the 9 the way it looks. I don't know, they're still discussing it here, Brandon. Even the officials aren't mid-season form, right? So that's the time of year we're at. Everybody's got to kind of get back in the groove a little bit, and so we're going to try and figure out where the ball is going to be placed. South's going to come out. They got a lot of time. 10-14 is a lot of time. Again, they don't need to push the panic button. They're 2 scores down. They need to get some points here. You can't afford to have empty possession after empty possession here in the 4th quarter. They need to be able to get the ball down the field. At the very least, they need to flip the field here, right? They need to get some field position back. But ideally, they'd like to get, obviously, points on the scoreboard, excuse me. Well, that was an out route to Amir Hill on the edge over there. And as simple and safe as a route as that seems, a couple things. You throw that short in the inside, that can go the other way. But the other thing is that the defense overplays it, and they take an out route, and that can turn into a big play in a hurry. So they did get good, decent yardage off of that, and now the South offense is going to try and play hurry up a little bit more than what they have been. And there are those defensive ends.
That would be Thomas Roberts.
Is that going to be a score? I think they're going to call him down. Well, the play started getting disrupted from the get-go. Harrison Smith from Waverly, number 44, tremendous job on his part. He shook loose, was able to get in the quarterback's face, and then we talked about him, right? Thomas Roberts, the athlete, the football player from Boone Central. I talked to him before the game. I said, I expect you to make a few plays out here today. He definitely has come out here and done that. And, I love how they play. They play with a lot of excitement, a lot of edge. They're definitely having fun out there. Both those two guys really complement each other out there.
I just saw that replay. Coach South, lucky that wasn't a fumble and a score and or North ball.
That would have really put them in a bind here for the rest of the game, and they already are 3rd and long here under the shadow of their own goalpost. Well, they're able to get out past the original line of scrimmage there with that nice run play up the middle. Played it safe, which you would do in that situation. Now they're going to need a big punt out of their special teams to get some real estate back. I think the North defense definitely had an opportunity there to get a defensive score. South dodged the bullet a little bit here. Can they capitalize now, get some, again, field position back? They desperately need a turnover, though. That's something that would benefit them greatly.
8:36 and counting. High hanging punt.
Not what they wanted.
Terrible
Ball
bounce.
still rolling back towards their end zone, Brandon.
So yeah, not at all what you wanted if you were the South. Excellent field position upcoming for the North. But they already have an 11-point lead, 8:21 left to go in the game.
So Coach Stein coming off the sideline here. Are they going to have something, a shot play early? Are they just going to turn around and hand it to Palmer and Bailey? What's going to be his philosophy coming out of this huddle on the sideline? It'll be interesting to see what they do here.
And more Omaha players being recognized by Lavander's Otto O'Neill with the touchdown at Omaha North. We talked about Kaliga from Scud also with the touchdown. Westside and Westview represented Papillion La Vista and Cale Johnson, Ty McDougal and Whitted from Papillion La Vista South, Van Dyke, and Westside's Joe Soria. All of these Omaha players being recognized by Lavander's Body Shop. And again, continue to keep your attention to our scorebug where players from other communities and their pictures will be popped up with their corresponding community supporter. .8:21 to go, and we saw, scoring really open up in that third quarter, Coach, and now it's like the defense sort of has reasserted itself for both teams. Now it's coming harder to come by here early on in the fourth.
Well, South dodged a bullet there, right? They had Whaley from the North had shut down the sidelines at one time. It was a little bit underthrown. And then a couple plays later, Bailey had the chance to get behind the secondary. They couldn't find him as well. So there was a couple opportunities. They're going to go back to the run game. There's that pop pass that we talked about early, right? Run out of that formation. And then what? Bailey, again, play action basically. Get the ball to the edge. They did a great job defending it, though. The South sat on that route, didn't let anything get behind them, so good heads-up defense by the South.
Instant replay brought to you by Stanton Telecom and Lavander's Auto, as you had Bailey trying to find Whaley out of that Wildcat.
So Anderson back in at quarterback, Bailey at running back. So we'll see where they get some things going here. Nice job again by the South defense. They're holding strong. They're trying to force that field goal. That would keep them within 2 scores here if they make the North special teams come out. So big third down and long here.
It was Kearney High's Reese Bertrand with the tackle. He's not going far. He'll stay here at UNK playing football. Also a legacy. His dad played in the Shrine Bowl in 1995.
All right, 3rd and 13 here. And Anderson again at quarterback. Play action pass wide open as O'Neill just could not connect. They would have had a lineman probably downfield anyway.
Yep, flag on the field. Would have been his second, like you said, though. Had he caught it, more than likely coming back due to the flag.
I believe that they're going to wave that off. I think that will be on the offense. I think they had an illegal receiver downfield.
So. Waiting for the official call here by our officiating crew.
Ineligible downfield, number 68 on the offense.
Indeed. We did have a lineman sneaking downfield a little bit. I think he got tied up with somebody down there. And that will bring out the special teams for the North. And again, we're going to have the Norfolk Catholic alumni, Max Hammond. He's going to come out, heading to Wayne State College where he's going to play football this coming year. So a lot of Wayne State Wildcats, a lot of UNK Lopers. We got CHADRON State Eagles. We've got some NAIA ranks. Concordia's represented, Peru State, Doane, junior college ranks, Iowa Western, have some South Dakota schools. So a lot of these guys going on to play as he does hit the field goal here to push that lead to 14 points.
43-yarder for Hammond after he hit a 36-yarder in the third. Still a two-possession game if you want to look at the positive side of things for the South. 28-14, 7:26 to go. We'll be back.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Agri-City Insurance, a proud supporter of Norfolk Athletics. House of Barbers, proudly supporting Kearney Athletics. And by Subcon, a proud supporter of Burwell Athletics.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Welcome back to Ron and Carol Cope Stadium. Brandon Axmick, Kurt Frenzen, and Dave Greek with you. 28-14. The North with the lead after that field goal, making it from a 11-point to a 14-point advantage. And Coach, again, if you're the South, you haven't had a lot of success since midway through the third quarter offensively when Van Dyke hit Kaliga, but you need some magic here as the clock's starting to work against you.
Well, they've tried that star play off the kick return. It was a little sloppy that time, but they were able to shake loose Amir Hill on that. And he is a threat. That guy is dangerous. Had a chance to go down and watch Millard South practice as they got prepped and prepared for the state championship game, and got to see him up close and personal, and he is a threat.
1,333 all-purpose yards for Hill, a great trackster as well. We saw him at BURKE, competing in the triple jump, a medalist.
You know, the guy that's kind of been quiet, and I don't think you closed the door on his playmaking yet, Gavin Shanahan from Elkhorn South. I could see him making some plays. Spears down the sideline. They got him.
Wide open, and just like that, the South is in business. Spears pushed out near the 15.
So getting up and making sure everybody knows he got a first down. And if you're in the Class C ranks, you saw a lot of this out of Spears, his ability to get open, and their quarterbacks over the years have done a good job of getting him the ball in space, and Kluge does a great job of, Van Dyke does a great job of finding him there and getting him the ball. And they are on the move, and they need to capitalize on this great field position and get a score here.
Option here for Van Dyke.
Wow. So a 4 or 5 yard gain, but the ability to take that little sprint option, not much going to that left side, and he was able to cut back and in close quarters make somebody miss. And the North defense is going to have a line change here, sensing that their defense might be getting a little bit tired. They're going to bring in some fresh faces over there. So Wilkie from Stanton, I know, is one of them. Pullman from Stanton is another one. We've got some new bodies in there coming in, and they're going to try and get a push on the offensive line here for the South.
6:25 remaining in the fourth. Van Dyke to Kaliga. He reaches for it and breaks the plane. The second time today the pair from Scott has connected. And just like that, it's a one-possession game. Coach, that is exactly what the South needed, a score and a quick score.
Well, their timing is great here. Van Dyke throws the ball before, Kaliga's even in his break, and Kaliga, the ball is waiting for him as he turns his out route, catches it, and was able to get a couple tough yards after contact there. That is a great job by their team coming out and getting a quick score. And we've got ourselves a ball game with that 6:20 left here in the fourth quarter. The South now has come back and put a little heat on them, put a little pressure on the North. Now, how are they going to respond, right?
PAT is good by Solomon Weens of Kearney Catholic. More than enough on his leg. He kicked a 51-yarder last year. That makes it a 7-point game with 6:20 to go. Don't go anywhere. Shrine Bowl heating up as we wind things down in Kearney. 6:20 left, North on top by 7.
Really good job by these two teams here, keeping things going for each side for sure.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Banghart Diesel Performance, located in Wahoo, Nebraska. Proud supporters of area athletics. Hancock Construction in Wahoo. Quality craftsmanship with a commitment to service. And by Mary Lanning Healthcare. Your care, our inspiration.
We hear you. R&G Service Center, your one-stop vehicle care center with the latest technology and an old-school charm. We offer everything from routine dealer maintenance to complete diagnostic repair. Our reviews don't lie. Check them out and schedule online at rngservicecenter.com. Serving Omaha with trust and honesty since 1981.
For the Shrine Bowl, we've got the co-captain for the North squad, Amelia. Amelia, how are you feeling today?
I'm doing good.
What has this week been like for you?
It's been very compact and super fun and interactive.
Let's talk more about the compact and the interactive. Explain those to me.
So, for the compact, I'm rushing. Doesn't help that we just had dance, and I'm oh no, I need to get everything together. I've been wearing this thing so many times, so I'm why is it so gross? Why do I feel gross wearing this that I've worn for hours? And I'm kind of stressed out, but also really happy. I don't know why.
I feel the same way about the gross right now. It's warm out here, it's humid, we've got these heavy clothes on, so I understand your situation. As far as this week and what the Shriners has done for you, what has it meant to you?
It's meant because normally, if Shriners wasn't free to everyone, then I don't know, I'd probably not be in Shriners. But I'm happy that Shriners lets all kids, different ages and different disabilities, could just go to a free place.
You've got a really good seat right now. Should I get you back to it to watch the North team take on the South team?
Yes.
They're up 28-21. Are they going to win?
Probably.
Okay, Amelia says the North team's going to get it done. We're going back upstairs.
Thank you, Dave. An excellent interview by Amelia. She's currently happy. Her team's up by 7, but 3rd and long coming up. They might be forced to punt it back to the South.
Well, she's not shy. That's easy to see. She is a future in sports media or media of some sort, I would say. She's very camera-friendly, very comfortable in front of the camera, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see her down the road on some newscasts or doing some sports or something. But great job by her, and excited for all those that were involved this week in the Shrine Bowl. Glad we can help be a small part of that by bringing this broadcast to our viewers.
And it's a 3 and out by the North. 5:36 remaining. The South's going to get it back with plenty of time.
Just was not able to get the timing where they wanted it right there. So they're going to have to come out and punt and give that ball back to that South offense. Are they going to stick with the offense that's been out there? They're going to rotate some guys through. It's going to be interesting to see how they attack this fourth quarter with 5:36. Usually through 3 quarters, you try to play all your players. Once you get into that fourth quarter, you kind of want to go with the hot hand. Not that somebody's not necessarily better than somebody else, but when sometimes you get in one of these games, somebody's just be able to get into a groove a little bit better than the other one. Tough catch on the punt return. That would have been disastrous for the South, but able to haul that in was Thomas Spears.
So the South will start on their own 22. A reminder that the Shrine Bowl broadcast here on News Channel Nebraska is presented by Pinnacle Bank of Kearney, a proud supporter of local athletes. Also Levander's Auto and Currency. If you need help for quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more, go to gocurrency.com. 5:29 to play. 7-point game. The South a chance to tie things here. As Van Dyke, pressured out of the pocket, in trouble, goes down, incomplete.
And the two bookends, right? 92, Thomas Roberts, number 44, Harrison Smith. Those two young men have had a great afternoon. The tackles in the middle, being able to take up the extra blocker in the center and even the running back and let those two guys come off the edge. It'd be interesting to see if the South offense wants to isolate over here on that left side. They did have some one-on-one. They went trips to the field and did have somebody isolated on the short side, weren't able to shake him loose. But right now they're going to settle for maybe a little more compact formation, see if they can get some yardage back on a run.
The middle, not much there.
Get a couple yards back, but not what they're looking for. They wanted to come out, obviously, on first down and, want to get second medium, second short, and weren't able to do that. So now they're going to bring up third and about close to 18, I suppose. Going to be a tough conversion here. The biggest thing you don't want to have happen is turn the ball over here, right? As long as there's time on the clock and you're down one possession, you got a shot. The big thing is you do want to try and get a first, but you also don't want to do anything that's going to put your team in a position to lose this game with 4 minutes left. So there's that isolation. They just didn't have time. They had that, and they're going to try. They got a mirror behind the secondary, but just could not throw the ball in bounds. And Van Dyke, that's a tough throw on the run, and trying to throw that ball as he's got a lot of North defensive guys giving chase to him. And so that'll bring out the punting unit for the South team.
3:50 to go, and as mentioned, a 3-and-out, not what the South needed after forcing a 3 out of their own to get the ball back. Defense is going to have to come up big again if they want to tie this thing up or potentially win.
Well, South has 2 timeouts, so they do have some opportunities here. 3-and-out is going to be, crucial for them. The biggest thing is you've got Bailey and Palmer as running backs that have just been doing a tremendous job, a great job for their team today. So we'll see if Coach Stein is satisfied with running behind that offensive line and picking up some first downs here, or if he's going to try and get some more points on the board with a quick score. I would say that conventional wisdom would tell you that Coach Stein's going to come out and just try to run the football here. And we'll see what running back he goes here. I believe he's bringing Antonio Palmer from South Sioux City out. Palmer's made some hay off the edge here, and there have been some runs that he's bounced off the counter play, and here's counter again. And that's kind of what he's done. He's made a living out of that today. The South has actually done a good job of, taking away where they're trying to run that counter off tackle, and then it's bounced outside, and he's either been able to break contact with that outside backer or make him miss. And he did a nice job doing it off that counter play, making some big plays off that today, and that continues here deep into the fourth quarter. And if you are that South defense, you've got to start stripping at the ball. The first guy is going to try and get to the tackle. Second, third guys are going to try and do whatever they can to come in and rip that ball away. You've got 2 backs in the backfield again. Palmer, same type of thing, just running downhill behind his pads. And he keeps moving down the field here, and the clock is ticking. And time is running out on that South team. They need to try and get a stop here the best they can.
2:40 and counting here in the fourth quarter. North with the lead and in the driver's seat, trying to be the victors of the 67th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Milking as much clock as possible. 2nd down and 1.
I wouldn't be surprised to see a quarterback run here at some point in time, a fake to Palmer. But they'll probably just turn and hand it to him. Nope, they do actually go to the quarterback. Well, I was expecting it, and so was the South defense. And they rallied to the football and was able to come up with a big tackle there. And I don't know if they're going to save their timeout or use it. Looks like they're going to save it for right now. So third down, Brandon, big third down for this football game.
McDougal making the play, and again, it was 2nd and 1, so you're still now giving yourself a chance if you're the South.
So who ended up taking the timeout there? Was it South or the North?
So timeout taken by the South.
Well, is it probably a miscommunication there a little bit. They let a lot of time run off the clock. I would say at least 15 to 20 seconds of clock ran off there. But that happens, right? I mean, we've got several coaches that this is going to be their first game and probably their last game they ever coached together. So communication there lost a little bit somewhere along the way. But nonetheless, they get the timeout. 1:48 left, 3 timeouts left for that North. So if they come out and things aren't going or doesn't look like what they might want it to be, they can always use the timeout here. So we'll see. They're looking to get into field goal range. They're probably close to that right now. They don't have to pick up a lot of yards. I would say they're going to probably just put the ball in Palmer's hands, because if you throw it, you run the risk, right, of that being an incomplete pass. Clock stopping, so we'll see what they do here, but I would be shocked if they don't just probably give the ball to Palmer and see if he can get a few yards off that counter play that they've been running.
You're able to see those local Lincoln players sponsored by Steve Carper and O Street Carpet, as well as Levander's Auto sponsoring those Omaha players, and not much there on third down. It's going to bring up 4th for the North, 137, 136, 135, still running.
So the South has been closing that down a little bit, and it's been bouncing outside. That time they did what they would call trap the trapper. So they're trying to kick him out, and what he did, the defensive end just closed it, tried to force the play back inside a little bit, and that worked a little bit better than what it has been. They've been kind of bouncing that play and trying to spill it. Two schools of thought there. They kind of went back, and the play wasn't able to spill to the outside. Their linebackers were able to get down on a run fit and get a stop. And that'll bring up a huge, obviously, 4th down and 6th. Do you kick the field goal here? I don't know exactly what Max Hammond's range is, but I think he's got to be close to that, right? So you put him out there and with a chance to put the game away, put your team up 2 scores, or do you go for this here? And you could about get in victory formation, obviously, if they do pick up the 1st down here. So it'll be interesting to see what they do when they break the huddle on the sideline. Great crowd here today, Brandon. I don't know what the official count's got to be, but it's got to be pushing about 4,000 here. Did you have a chance to count heads out here? What do you got for official attendance?
We always get that from Mr. John Cerny after the fact, so he'll give us the update, and we'll have to tweet it out, but there's a look.
What's your over-unders on it?
I think, let's go 36-52.
I'm going to take the overs on it
just
because
it's close.
I would like it to be closer to 4,000, so John, if you're hearing this, let's go with the overs on that. Let's get it closer to 4. Good crowd, though. Beautiful day. If you're the Chamber of Commerce in Kearney, you're excited about the weather here today. All the visitors coming out here to watch the Shrine Bowl. You drive around this town, what a beautiful city this is. Kearney, the gym out here, and kick to try and put this game away.
46-yarder.
It's no good. We've got a ball game. You love football and you love the chance at extra time, we've got that opportunity. So here comes that South offense. And as you look out there, right, you've got a lot of playmakers. You've got Thomas Spears from Ashland. That guy is lightning in a bottle. Mir Hill, pretty much a mirror of what Thomas Spears is, right, just a little bit taller. You got Kaliga, who's definitely had a big plays out there and has the timing. If I'm that South offense, I want to try and isolate Kaliga. I'm going to my speed to the wide side of the field. I want to get my timing down, and that's actually what they're going to do. They're going to go 3-by-1 out away and into the boundary. They're going to try and isolate Kaliga and see if they can't get him shook down the sideline. And if I'm the North defense, I'm not letting anything behind me. And they run a timing route to start things off. Completion,
right to Kaliga.
The 2 Scott boys doing what they do best.
Pushed out near the 35, 1:15 to go.
And so you go right back to work here. And they're going to stay in that formation, 3-by-1. You try to get a Mir Hill matched up on a safety or an outside backer somehow, maybe get that matchup. You can run 2 posts, take the corner away, and have the safety matched up on Amir possibly with Thomas Spears running underneath route to keep the other safety. You know, what are you going to do here to try and get a matchup and try to get some real estate? You know, 115 is a lot of time, trust me, but with no timeout, you've got to be thinking real estate here with each and every play.
Van Dyke talking to the trip side, looking back to Kaliga.
Behind him. Back and away toward the sideline. He was on an in cut there, and he threw it just a titch behind him. He is lucky that ball was not picked off. And good job by number 16, Hayden Kelly from Norfolk Catholic, playing defense on that play. But he did come open on his in cut. There was some possibilities there. So we're going to see how they play this. They've got Wilkie playing a little bit farther off, almost 5 deep, really. There's Spears underneath.
And he's able to hold on, and that's a first down.
He's
Clock
got
stops, 1:05 to go.
So what we talked about, right, you want to take away the outside corner, that defender, that defensive back, and they ran a deep route. And we want Amir Hill get matched up on the safety. That's what they did. Now they go back to 2-by-2 here. Timing route on the edge toward the sideline, not able to get out of bounds, but they did get 5 yards. 50 seconds, clock's ticking.
Catch made by Axman.
I love the command of Van Dyke over here at quarterback, getting his team going. They're in a hurry-up offensive type of situation, and they go timing route again. He did have him open, but he wants to go deep, and Amir Hill is there. He had it.
It pops out. It pops out. Hill was behind the defense. He would have had it at the 3-yard line.
So they set up a quick timing route on 2nd and medium, right? And then they looked. Van Dyke looked to the edge like he was going to run that timing route. What did we talk about? Get Amir Hill matched up on a safety. Get that athletic ability one-on-one. And what they do, they got it. They got the play they wanted. They had the real estate, just could not haul it in. But that is not going to be the end of this game. I think we'll have another situation like that before this 30 seconds is up.
Great look by our camera crew. Instant replay by Levander. So it's a little swing pass, and that's going to hurt. Not enough for a first down. Clock is rolling. Catch made by Edison Knott. 24 seconds, 23 seconds.
Get the first down, right? You need downs.
Fourth down as well.
As long as you got a first down here.
You need at least 2 yards, 16 seconds. Fourth down, 2 to go, 13 seconds.
They got Roberts in at tackle, which helps their chances.
Van Dyke.
And they're alive. We've got
5
seconds, so you've got time to throw one up to the end zone here.
Get to the line.
You can spike it here, right? I would spike it, get your play, and that's what they're going to do. And so here we go. 4 seconds. This is going to be the last play, Brandon.
Okay, this is what you want. This is why you play football. It's your last high school game of your career.
Well, you can only do so many things, right? Offensively and defensively. But what you don't want to do is you don't want anything behind you. We practice this once, twice a week during the season at Lakeview, this exact situation. We've got a little bit like 40 yards away and 30 yards away, 20 yards away. You've got different plays you're going to run for that distance. They're at 40-yard mark. What you're going to try and do is more of a Hail Mary situation like this. Can Roberts shake loose? Can Logan Dodson shake loose? Can Harrison Smith shake loose? Those guys get pressure on Van Dyke, because the last thing you want him doing is running around back there, buying time and letting these guys get in the end zone. And if you're the South, you just got to keep Van Dyke alive. That's the thing you've got to do. Oh, they go timing route. They're going to try it. Gutsy call.
The Liga gets out with 1 second to play. 1 second on the clock.
All right, here we go. 30 seconds. Or excuse me, 1 second, 30 yards to go. You know what? That's tough. You got to have a lot of belief, and if you got 2 kids from Scott that played that much football, then you believe they have the timing to do that. I'll tell you, a big player in this is your running back. Is he going to block, right? You got to keep him in there. He's got to have his head on a swivel. Logan Dodson came free. And we're going to have a play at the end zone, an interception.
Picked off.
That is going to be your ball game.
Hayden Kelly seals it for the North. They are your 67th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl champs. Your final 28-21.
Hey, what an ending, Brandon. You know, we had football here in June, the Shrine Bowl, the All-Star game. The biggest thing you want to see is a good football game come down to the last play, and that's exactly what happened. Hats off to these coaches. Both these teams, these players came out, gave everything they had, and put on a real big-time show for that crowd today at UNK. And I tell you what, I couldn't be happier to be a part of this. This is a great day. I'm glad to see both these teams come out and put on their very best for all the fans that were out here to watch today.
Hayden Kelly with the interception to seal it. 28-21, your final. Stay with us. We'll be back for our post-game show. We'll talk to head coach Kevin Stein and a couple of players as well as we wrap things up here in Kearney.
NCN Sports is brought to you by the Buffalo County Fair. Embrace the adventure at the Buffalo County Fair, July 23rd through the 28th. Learn more at buffalocountyfairgrounds.com. And by Creighton International, proudly supporting Albion Athletics.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Cozad Telephone Company, now offering high-speed internet in rural Cozad. USAFE Pharmacy in Norfolk, a proud supporter of Norfolk Catholic and healthy families. And by Cooperative Producers, Inc., making local matter.
Just finished an epic game? Keep the excitement going with a stop at Good To Go Convenience Store on your way home. Refuel with a fresh coffee. Grab a tasty sandwich and fill up your tank to be ready for the next adventure. Whether you're celebrating a win or discussing the highlights, Good To Go has all your post-game refreshments covered. Make it a part of your game day routine.
Good To Go post-game snacks.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Colors Law of CHADRON. Legal support for estates, corporations, businesses, and more. Ridgeview Country Club of CHADRON. When you play golf, play the best. And by Sandy Creek Public Schools.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. The Carpet Shop, providing quality residential and commercial floor covering and installation for almost 50 years. And by 5 Points Bank, the better bank. It's the thrill, the hope, the long shots, and the turnovers. The big hits, the kills, the dunks, the strikes, the surprises, the joy, and the heartbreak. And that's why NCN Sports bring you more than 200 live games every year. News Channel Nebraska. This is home. NCN Sports is brought to you by Elite Health and Wellness, a proud supporter of Kearney Athletics, the Madrigal family, a proud supporter of Omaha Athletics, and by Elkhorn Antler Football Booster Club, a proud supporter of Elkhorn Athletics.
Anything for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more. From little feet to little paws, to updates and overhauls. From soft and cozy to durable and resilient. From something that blends in or something that's different. From DIY to custom install, O Street Carpet can help you with it all. Whatever your needs are for the floor, O Street Carpet has it and more.
NCN Sports is brought to you by the Gibbon Tractor Pull on August 2nd. Stanton Telecom, smart technology solutions for your home. And by Cunningham's. Escape ordinary at Cunningham's Journal on the Bricks and Cunningham's on the Lake in Kearney.
We're committed to providing you with the highest level of service, so you will always choose us for your collision repairs. Lavander's has been Nebraska's most trusted body shop for 25 years. With 15 locations across the state, we promise to provide world-class service with our highly trained and skilled technicians. We understand the importance of community and the values that make Nebraska great. We're not just fixing cars, we're investing in community success. Lavander's Body Shop. We are Nebraska's body shop.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Larson Motors in Nebraska City. Find your new Chevrolet, GMC, Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram today at LarsonMotorGroup.com. And by Cooperative Producers, Inc., making local matter.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Lone Tree Throwers, proud supporters of Central City Athletics. Cozad Telephone Company, supporting Cozad Athletics. And by HD Management Company, a proud supporter of North Platte Athletics.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Speedy Mart. When you have to fuel your journey and feed the crew, whether it's many or a few, Speedy Mart is fresh, ready, super clean, and convenient.
Here, customers can expect the highest quality fuel that they deserve.
And when you make a pit stop, it's gotta be fast. Easy in, easy out. Speedy Mart for the win.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Oakland Processing Plant, proudly supporting local agriculture with custom processing of livestock from area farmers. And by Ord Sports Chiropractic and Wellness, putting you back in your field.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil. Make your first and last stop to and from the game at your nearest Speedy Mart or Good to Go convenience stores today. And by Crete Public Schools.
Recognized specifically by Lavander's Auto. A lot of them making plays in this game. 32 Omaha players in total as a part of this 90-plus field of players on both the North and the South teams. But Lavander's Auto, proud supporter and sponsors of these Omaha and metro area players. Final score in this one, 28-21. We saw all of these players doing exceptionally great things on the field, like every player out here for the Shrine Bowl. Lavander's wanting to recognize those Omaha players one more final time. It looks like Dave is on the field and ready to go. Let's go downfield side and hear from winning head coach for the North team, Grand Island Northwest, Kevin Stein.
So we're here with head coach Kevin Stein of the North squad. You guys got the victory today.
Yeah.
It was almost in doubt there for a moment on that Hail Mary. What were you trying to tell the guys in the final moments?
Oh, I don't, here's the awesome thing about having like 45 of the best players in the northern part of the state is you don't got to tell them much. I mean, they're just real good, and they see things so fast. So, I don't know, just try to get them in the right position and then just kind of go let their God-given tools kind of win it.
What did this week mean to you as a whole? Because you played in this, you won an award in this. Yeah. Your dad was a coach in this. Your brother was a coach in this. Your boy played in this. Yeah. What did this week mean to you, and then to get the victory?
It is. This is kind of the kind of cap on my kind of Shrine Bowl career and stuff here and stuff like that. So to come away with a victory is just so cool. I don't know. It's hard to put in. Last night at the banquet, I said, got kind of emotional about my dad. You know, he talked about this always being his highlight of his career, and once it settles in, I think it will be
for you as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. Talk a little bit about the performance you saw from number 92 on defense, Thomas Roberts out of Boone Central.
He is just relentless. You know, there's guys that are just football players. There's guys that are just, I don't know, just that meathead. I'm a football player. I love to lift. We did our captain's voting. He got tons of votes, you know, and he was a captain for us. He's just a good person, you know, outside of it, and then just relentless on defense, and he just loves playing football, and he'll do a great job up at North Dakota State.
You had a lot of players on both sides of the ball. Quinn Bailey had a
Yeah.
really good game for you today. He's the offensive player of the game. What did you see from Quinn?
Oh, Quinn, I didn't know Quinn. I thought TJ was. I told TJ Whaley he was. Quinn Bailey, Chadron High never die, you know. I've known Quinn for a long time, and he was the glue for our team. He won the teammate of the week, you know, for us. He was a guy that just makes everybody feel better about themselves, and then he just fights, you know, all day, every day.
You seem to have lost your voice. Where'd you put it?
Wow. You know what? And I was doing pretty good all week, you know? So, I don't know, just having fun. That's all we did. We won the week. And, you know, I said, you know what, we may win or lose the game, but we're going to win the week by just having the most fun and creating the most relationships, you know, and lifelong brothers.
You won the week and you won the game. Kevin Stein, congratulations. Appreciate the time. I'm going to grab Thomas Roberts, but he's taking a picture with his family right now. And Quinn Bailey was around here, but now he has also disappeared. So give me a second. We're going to slow. There he is. The guy's always got his wits about him. Thomas Roberts, defensive player of the game. What a performance today. First and foremost, let me just say thanks for being a big guy, height-wise, so we can go eye to eye here. Most importantly, though, really, today was such a big day for the Shriners Hospital. What did this week mean to you?
I mean, it was awesome. This is probably the most fun I've ever had playing football. I mean,
really?
The camaraderie between, you know, a bunch of guys that I've played against and like I knew, but you get to spend a week up here with them and just, I mean, develop relationships that you already have and build new ones. And then really to see, I got turf in my eye, I think. And then really to see what the Shriners do. I don't really think you can fully understand unless, you know, you're someone who's been a patient or you get to experience this. When we did Beyond the Field Monday, I got to use a prosthetic arm to pick up Lego pieces, part of a challenge. And I mean, it's eye-opening to think that that's, I mean, how much they help people and how much they, just the good that they do and how much more of a game than this is than just a football game.
It is all of that, which is so important that you were willing to give your time and your efforts to come down here and be a part of this moment and be a part of this game and be a part of the movement for the Shriners Hospital. Your family's here as well. What does it mean to have your family here?
You know, it's awesome. It's awesome to see my grandpa. He played at Kearney State in college. And so for him to come back and be able to watch me compete at a high level, you know, that's awesome. And then all my cousins, everybody else, and for my older brother to come back, who's a guy I really looked up to in my younger years in high school, and he played in the Shrine Bowl 2 years ago as well. So I mean, it's awesome to have everybody here, and you know, it's just good to know you have people behind you, no matter what.
Real quick, you got the size, you got the speed, you got the heart. Where are you going next?
North Dakota State. Roll Herd.
There he is, Thomas Roberts, the defensive player of the game. Thomas, your fans are applauding you. More likely your family either way. Appreciate the time. As far as Quinn Bailey goes, I don't know where he's at. So for the time being, I'm going to try to track him down. In the meantime, we'll send it back upstairs.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Lone Tree Throwers, proud supporters of Central City Athletics. Cozad Telephone Company, supporting Cozad Athletics. And by HD Management Company, a proud supporter of North Platte Athletics.
We're committed to providing you with the highest level of service, so you will always choose us for your collision repairs. Lavanders has been Nebraska's most trusted body shop for 25 years. With 15 locations across the state, we promise to provide world-class service with our highly trained and skilled technicians. We understand the importance of community and the values that make Nebraska great. We're not just fixing cars, we're investing in community success. Lavanders Body Shop. We are Nebraska's body shop.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Witty Physical Therapy, offering specialized treatments in Louisville and Plattsmouth, and by Crystal Cafe in South Sioux City, an icon known for good food, good service, and low prices.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people that we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
Back here at the end of the 67th Nebraska Shrine Bowl, the North gets a 28-21 victory over the South. I'm thinking West because we got somebody from way out west.
Oh, yeah.
CHADRON, Quinn Bailey with us, the offensive player of the game. Quinn, what was today's performance like for you?
It was a privilege to be here, first of all, but even better to come out with a bunch of group of guys that got close with over the week and then get the dub. And, I had a great time and just running the ball for those guys. I got a little banged up in the first after I took a big hit. And they come back out, and those guys, they got behind me. They rallied behind me. They're like, you got it. And, not only me, but we have Tony Palmer running the ball like that. And we got TJ making plays and Connor as well. So, it was an absolute great time out there.
You had a lot of offensive weapons on the north side of the ball. But let's talk a little bit about beyond the game today. The Shriners Hospital and the effort that they put in to have such a successful event with such a successful week, and, of course, their message for the Shriners Hospital.
Yeah, they did a great job hosting us, and like you said, it's a great cause. And for us to come out and represent, like you said, it's beyond the game, it's greater than the game, and it's greater than oneself to be here. And it was an absolute honor and such a privilege to play. And, like you saw with Amelia and Carter firsthand, how well this game impacts them and how much this helps them when they go to get treatments and whatnot. So it was just awesome to play for them and, give them high fives on the sideline and to see Amelia smile like that, it's way greater than ourselves, and I love it.
I saw a lot of folks that came down here to support you and be a part of this. I heard a lot of folks that were here to support you and be a part of this. What did it mean to have those folks come out here?
Oh, it's a blessing. It's God's blessing to even have them here. They followed me through wrestling, football games. They'd come up on a Friday afternoon to watch me play some of the worst games of the year, but they just want to be there for me, and that's what means the most to me is family and the people around me that hold me accountable, and they got me here. So it's just awesome to see them here, and like I said, it's God's blessing.
Quinn Bailey, the offensive player of the game for the 67th Nebraska Shrine Bowl as the North gets the 28-21 victory. Congratulations. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We're going to send it back up to Brandon and Kurt.
Congratulations to both of our players of the game, Quinn Bailey representing CHADRON, and also Thomas Roberts, a force on the defensive end. One more time, these last Omaha players being recognized by Lavander's Body Shop. Dylan Van Dyke, also a big-time player. Ty McDougal, every single one of these Omaha players making an impact today, and Lavander's Body Shop wanting to recognize them for their accomplishments, not only in the Shrine Bowl, but throughout their career. We're about to wrap this up. Before we do, we're going to take a look at our top plays and rehash all of the highlights of this game. The 67th Nebraska Shrine Bowl played in Kearney. A beautiful day on a Saturday. This top play is brought to you by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need them. 67th Annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl in Kearney, South versus North, and the South team would get on the board first. Chance Verton, that is a 50-yard catch. The Hastings Tiger finds Pater. Dylan Van Dyke, the Scott quarterback, making the throw early on. Coach, it's 7-0 late in the first quarter.
Great job extending the play like we talked about. Verton up the sidelines, turns his route up, and they connect. And the South team comes out and gets an early celebration, gets on the board, and get the scoring going.
Then North team answers. We're in the second, about 6:17 to go, and climbing the ladder, Omaha North's Connor O'Neill, 11-yard pass and catch from Omaha Burke's Nate Collins. They would go for two, and they would convert. So after the touchdown, the two-point conversion would go in by Quinn Bailey. So it's 8-7, North leading at this point.
Yeah, it's a great job. And then we go to defensive highlights where the bookends, I like to call them Roberts and Smith. Smith from Waverly. Roberts, your defensive player of the game from Boone, converged on the quarterback a lot today and made big plays.
Now you have Braylon Anderson of OAKLAND-CRAIG chucking it up there, and look at the catch, Bellevue West product. T.J. Whaley coming down with it to set up a scoring opportunity for the North. This would be in the third quarter because it was 8-7 North leading at halftime, but Quinn Bailey punching it in. The CHADRON high product 2 yards out makes it 15-7 with 8:30 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, just great job on that play. They ran off tackle there. A lot of those big hog mollies from the North offensive line getting after it.
Now, how many times did we see this over their careers? Van Dyke connecting with Joe Kaliga. The two Scott Skyhawks did it all day long, and that would put South in a scoring position, and it'd be right back. The very next play, Van Dyke to Kaliga, this time in the end zone.
Just able to get a little bit of separation down there in the corner. A great job executing that route, and came up big for that South offense.
15-14, North still on top after that score, just under 8 to go in the third. And how about Antonio Palmer? He ran for almost 400 yards in one game. He ran over a defender there. 6-yard punch in, making it 22-14, North on top.
We had the two bookends, Smith and Roberts, for the defense. We had those two backs, the 1-2 punch on offense between Palmer and Quinn Bailey.
Now look at this catch. Whaley off of the tip drill. Could have nearly gone for a touchdown before stepping out, but excellent patience and vision by Whaley to make the catch. He led the North with 5 receptions for 96 yards. But South's Van Dyke trying to get back into this one, and this would help. Pass completion to Edison Knott of Seward, as at this point the South was down by 2 scores in the fourth quarter.
That actually was to Spears on that reception, able to come up big, and then this throw and catch by the Scott team.
Spears of Ashland Greenwood, and then, yes, Kaliga again finding the end zone. This was after 2 field goals by Max Hammond for the North. After that touchdown, it makes it 28-21, so Kaliga cuts the lead in half, but the North still leading by 7, 28-21. But they get the ball back and did have one final chance after forcing a 3-and-out late. Van Dyke going for it all. This is the last play of the game. Kaliga falls down. Hayden Kelly of Norfolk Catholic with the interception to seal it for the North. They are your champs of the 67th Annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl, your final 28-21.
What a fun game. The ending, obviously, right down to the wire. Anytime you can get something like that at this time of year, an all-star game, boy, you got to be grateful, and we did that today. And how about those 2 post-game interviews? How can you not be a Thomas Roberts fan? How can you not be a Quinn Bailey fan after those 2 interviews? Those guys did a great job. North Dakota State, they're getting a great one in Thomas Roberts. He's going to go up there and make a lot of plays for the Bison. And CHADRON's getting a good one in Quinn Bailey as well. So hats off to those guys. You know, they were really complimented well by several players. But, again, the ones that stick out to me, Harrison Smith at the other bookend of Waverly, and then the 2 punch out of the 1-2 punch, Antonio Palmer from South Sioux City. Those guys really combined to have a great day in the backfield for that North offense.
Well, that will do it for us here in Kearney. 28-21, your final, as we wrap up our Shrine Bowl coverage. Kurt Frenzen has been in the booth alongside myself, Dave Greek on the sidelines. This was fun. We enjoyed it, and thank you all for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the coverage as well. We cannot sign off without giving a huge, huge shout-out to our terrific production team in the truck. Danny Alvarado, Paul Hires, and Connor Luby, overcoming obstacles and working diligently, making sure everything could go off without a hitch as best we could. And also a shout-out to engineers Brad Beam and Jamie Wentz, helping make this broadcast possible, and our terrific, terrific camera crew bringing you all of the shots. These productions, there's a lot that goes into them, a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people behind the scenes, and they all deserve recognition for the hard work they put in helping bring this statewide broadcast to all of you at home. So, for the final time here in Kearney, we'll sign off 28-21. Thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to tune in to News Channel Nebraska for our next broadcast next Saturday, 1 o'clock Central. For the first time ever, we're televising the Nebraska High School Rodeo State Championships live from Valentine. We are looking forward to that broadcast. That is Saturday, June 14th, 1 p.m. Central, State High School Rodeo Championships. We'll see you there.
NCN Sports is brought to you by the Gibbon Tractor Pull on August 2nd. Stanton Telecom, smart technology solutions for your home. And by Cunningham's. Escape ordinary at Cunningham's Journal on the Bricks and Cunningham's on the Lake in